80 passengers and crew members caught fire in the southern Philippines.
The fire broke out in the MV Lady Mary Joy 3 ferry off the coast of the southern island province of Basilan. The dozens of people who died either perished in the fire or drowned when trying to escape the blaze in the sea. However, many of those rescued had jumped off the ferry at the height of the fire. They were rescued in the sea by the Coast Guard, Navy and nearby vessels. The burned ferry was towed to Basilan's shoreline as the search and rescue efforts continued for several missing passengers. I'm Karen Chamas.
14 people, including students, were killed when a university bus collided with a passenger vehicle in Kenya. It happened west of the country's capital. They say 12 people died on the spot.
And
2 others succumbed on the way to the hospital. News and analysis at townhall.com. A judge orders the U.S. government to resume regular oil and gas lease sales on federal lands in North Dakota.
The order came even as the legal battle continues over the Biden administration's decision to suspend leasing 2 years ago in an effort to combat climate change. North Dakota's Attorney General says the canceled lease sales have cost the state over $100 million in revenue each year. A U.S. Department of Justice attorney argued that ordering lease sales before the lawsuit is decided is a, quote, rush to judgment.
Correspondent Jeremy House. The government reports the U.S. economy grew at a 2.6% annual pace in the fourth quarter of last year, despite raging inflation and rising interest rates. The government previously estimated the economy expanded at a 2.7% annual rate. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Ah, yes.
It's a 2-year day, too. It's going to be a good day, Bob.
I know. I felt it. I was like, ooh. That's stereo. That's nice.
Yeah, 2 years.
I like it.
It's amazing.
Spoiled.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Mm-hmm. Feeling a lot better today.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it's run its course. Yesterday, I started feeling bad. What's today? Thursday? Tuesday afternoon. And yesterday, man, I just had this pain.
And I know that pain. Like, I've had that pain so many times.
And it would not go away till about, I think last night around 6 o'clock, I was like, you know what? This is the best I've felt all day.
It feels like somebody's taking your intestines and they're just doing this.
Yeah.
They're just twisting.
And so, like, I went to the bathroom. That didn't help.
Right.
I was like, well, maybe I'll eat a little something. So I had some soup. That didn't help. And then finally, it just, once it ran its course. But yes, ready to tackle the greasy pork sandwich served on a dirty ashtray. Bring it on. I'm not quite, but
Mike's filling up for an egg salad sandwich from a gas station bathroom. Hey.
No, quite there, but I definitely feel 100% better. So,
which is ironic because when Mike was like, dude, I'm going to go home. I don't feel good. I'm like, I was sitting there literally watching a dude eating an MRE from 1992.
And he told me that. I said, oh my God. I was like, no. I said, even in 1992, that thing was dicey.
Yeah. You know what's messed up was, you know what it was? It was called a ham slice. That was the main, was a ham slice.
Actually, that's not bad. I've had ham slice.
It sounds rough. Ham slice.
I've had ham slice.
I'm sure
not
it's
bad.
smoked, but ham slice. It's very, very official.
No, that's not a bad night if you got ham slice. There's much worse nights if you got handed different MREs.
It's so funny to hear this dude talk. He goes, "This tastes like Coffee Instant One." he talks in rations.
Now, the 90 ones, I probably are very familiar with those, because that's probably the same style I dealt with. Mm-hmm. So it probably had like the 1988 Olympic team M&Ms, right, or Lifesavers or something.
Yeah, I saw one the other day that had like a pack of M&Ms that had like one little pinhole in the bottom, and it was just all bloomed out. It was rough.
And then it came. I bet that one had the little mini Tabasco bottle.
It did.
Yes, it did.
He
and the chiclets. Mm-hmm. And the chiclets. They still had chiclets and the mini Tabasco bottles back then. And then of course it's usually Folgers, I think, but
it's Taster's Choice.
Taster's Choice, yeah. That was they eventually flipped to Folgers, but I think that was mid '90s,
right?
So Taster's Choice.
It's so funny too because he talks about like the spray dried versus the freeze dried versions, and he does the comparisons.
Yeah. Oh, I've dabbled with those MREs. I've had some time spent with those.
Time spent
those MREs. Yeah, ham slice ain't bad. Like I said, and this is some of the most sage advice I can give you when it comes to MRE eating. Anything that says hash or has eggs, stay away from.
Anything that's solid, you're pretty good with.
Yeah. But anything that was labeled, like, to be honest, spaghetti, turkey tetrazzini, any of those, or like stroganoff or those style, aren't bad.
Right.
Because they're all pre-mixed. It's just a matter of heating it up. It's like eating a Dinty Moore beef stew or something. It's not that bad. But when you get into hash world or powdered egg world,
he's so from what I've from my research, the worst on the planet is the veggie omelet or the vomlet.
You want to mess with that one. That was the one you give to the enemy. You don't want that one.
Yeah, the vegetarian omelet they said was by far the worst ration that exists.
Yeah, that was just pure evil in a pouch right there. But happy with Thursday.
Yeah, indeed.
I didn't want to talk about MREs right out the gate. I could. I'm feeling better. But
on the note of intestinal distress, happy Thursday.
I hope all of you are having a wonderful day so far and everything else. Hey, I was, because I had, I was home kind of chilling, and when I had Moonshiners Marathon on in the background, and so I tell you, man, we got some people in this town that seriously need some mental health. Just
in this town?
I mean,
in this country.
But to more specifically narrow it down, and
in the Roswell metro area.
I spent some time on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday and a little this morning actually, and of course there's there's one of the pages. It's called Freedom Talk. It's a Roswell Freedom Talk. It's a group.
That's always more fun. That's always a fun one.
Yeah, and I think it was started with good intentions.
Sure,
but it's just filled with idiots.
If you want decent discourse as far as like how Roswell's doing as a whole, go to Ideas, Solutions, and Questions for Creating a Better Roswell, I believe it is.
I've seen that one too.
That's the one that's the decent discourse for Roswell talk.
Okay.
Go to this one, you're going to get them raisin cakes.
Well, and that's what I live there. I'm like, man, this is like, if you want to know all the people that like live in their basement in a bathtub full of Jell-O,
bunch of neckbeards, right?
Go to the Freedom Talk, and that's all you see is the people chiming in. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a few normal, rational.
You ever tried to make
so much idiocy in between all of them.
You ever tried to make a bathtub full of Jell-O? That is challenging.
Well, these clown shoes of all,
because you got to refrigerate the Jell-O.
Yeah, they've mastered it because they have a lot of time stewing in their basement thinking about this stuff. And it's, I know they're all hiding behind weird accounts. They got fake names, and they all just take pot shots at each other like a bunch of morons.
Right.
And none of them say anything factual. They just all say stuff like, "I know the truth," and and "I'm the one," and "You're a and so is this," and I'm like, y'all are a bunch of plastic pants wearing pieces of garbage, all of you. Go home and get a real hobby instead of walking around thinking you're important, hiding behind these weird identities. So y'all need some mental health. I don't know. Go visit the hospitals. We got a couple of them. They'll take care of you. You know, maybe a less trip to the pharmacy or the liquor store for you, and you know, and lay off the weed and the booze for a little bit just to get back to reality here. And that's my advice to you folks. All you folks have been sitting there in that Freedom Talk page in your plastic pants in the basement.
See, that's my takeaway. That's twice now you said it. Is the plastic pants? Yeah. I've literally never heard that used as a verb, just as a descriptor. I've never heard that before. That's amazing.
That's what they are.
The plastic pants wearers. Ooh, that's great.
And y'all need some. Talk to somebody, get a hug, something. I don't know. Y'all ain't right.
That's what it really comes down to. Is you need a hug.
You need a hug or something because y'all ain't right.
It's been a while since you had human interaction.
It's just mental health patient after mental health patient chiming in, man. They got a free Facebook account and a hidden identity, and they're just going crazy.
Yeah, they're giving these things out for free. They don't require you to put a down payment down or anything. Yeah, you can just slap down your opinions on the internet.
Yeah, it's Waterhead City over there. All right.
It's a rousing endorsement for that Facebook page.
Well, it was started with good intentions, and some people on there legit are trying things, but there is just this skew of people, and it's like 4 or 5, maybe a dozen, and they're just a gaggle of idiots, and they're both sides got them, and they're both taking pot shot at each other, and it's not anything constructive. It's just a bunch of people. I know the truth, and I know this, and one day I'm going to unveil it all for you to know. And then
my manifesto.
And then you get some normal people like, dude, if you got it, say it and shut the heck up. You know, it's just like you people are just plastic pants wearing, Jello tub sitting, stupid idiots. That's all you are.
For only about a week, there was a Facebook page that was literally just revealing stuff about people in Roswell. It was literally like,
oh, I remember that.
Yes, it was a magical week
I guess
and
it
a
got
half.
shut down.
Oh, hardcore. Yeah, because people were getting murdered over it.
Oh, really?
Well,
I didn't know it got that bad.
I don't know if it was that bad.
I know they were airing some dirtiness on there.
A lot of folks were getting their feelings real hurt from it. But
it was like an R-rated version of that show Cheaters.
But here, so you knew the people involved.
Oh yeah, it was airing some dirt. It was mostly high school kids, I think, but it was airing some dirty laundry.
I'll put it this way: it's the one time since I was in my 20s that I was literally refreshing a page just to see what happens.
He's like, man, I ate a lot of popcorn that week. All right, let me give you the rundown of the show before I really get angry. We're going to replay our interview. We had the folks from American Legion Post 61 join us yesterday, give us an update. So we'll play that for you here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we'll have the folks from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge join us, Don Weld and Carl Jacobson. So we'll get an update on what's happening out at Bitter Lake. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview, Peggy Bowling, Camp Invention. She joined us a couple days ago to talk about Camp Invention. But coming up here is tomorrow?
Yeah. Tomorrow, yeah. No,
today. Today's the deadline day. So we're going to play that for you, the last-minute reminder for folks. And then, of course, we'll have all of your other features, include the news and all of that good stuff. So
absolutely.
All right. It is 7:16. I'll go ahead and do the weather, which it's going to be hot and windy today. It's going to be in the 80s, but we got fire weather watches and high wind warnings and all that happening.
I should have grabbed a hat before I walked out the door.
Or just don't have any hair like me.
Yeah.
Of course, what little hair I have, I shellac down with hairspray.
See, I failed to mousse this morning, and I got this one little flyaway thing going on. That's going to be an issue.
I think that could be your Superman Jerry curl. You know how Superman had a little curl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be your Superman curl.
There it is. Ladies.
Put a big S on your chest and just stand out there with your hands on your hips. All right, it is 7:17. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure moving into the Great Basin and across our area, so we'll be getting sunshine today, but very gusty wind, 50 to 55 miles per hour, and our afternoon high in the mid-80s. Watch out for some blowing dust across the roadways, mid-40s and very windy for the overnight hours and clear. And then Friday, it'll be another windy day. Our afternoon high about 70, sunshine, and gusts up to 40. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 47 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 71%. Winds currently out of the south at 7 miles per hour. Yes, today we have a wind advisory. That'll kick in at 11 o'clock this morning, remaining in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. Also have the red flag warning, also kicking in at 11 o'clock this morning. That will remain in effect through 7 p.m. this evening. Expect areas of blowing dust for this afternoon. Sunny and warm, though. 83 for a high. Winds will be up out of the south, 10 to 20 this morning, increasing 25 to 35, gusting as high as 50 miles per hour by later this afternoon. For tonight, areas of blowing dust before 9 p.m., mostly clear otherwise, I guess. Winds will be, could be dusty, you can't see, but clear skies. Mostly clear, overnight low of 42. Winds will be up out of the southwest, 25 to 35. Gusting as high as 50 miles per hour. They'll drop down 15 to 25 after midnight, so still breezy. Friday, more wind, more blowing dust. Sunny skies, a little cooler, 72 for Friday. Winds will be out of the west, 15 to 20 early, increasing 25 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, overnight low of 35 degrees, west winds 15 to 20. Gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight tomorrow night. And then for your weekend, a little bit more calm, it looks like, at least for the winds. Mostly sunny, high of 76 on Saturday. North winds 5 to 10 in the morning, 15 to 20 for the afternoon, which isn't so bad compared to today and tomorrow. Sunday, sunny skies, a high of 83, and looks like we'll start next week breezy and in the mid-80s. So we'll see how that shapes up, though. All right, it is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break. Then we're going to play our interview with the folks from American Legion Post 61 on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
You're invited to the Arts and Crafts Fair, happening April 1st and 2nd at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center, presented by Jane and Paul Navarez. Find a wide variety of handmade arts and crafts. Over 40 artist booths will be on hand, and many food trucks will be there to satisfy any food cravings. The partner charity for this year's craft fair is the Pecos Valley Public Service Search and Rescue Team. Entry is just $2. Children 12 and under are free. The Arts and Crafts Fair, April 1st and 2nd, 10 to 5 Saturday, 10 to 4 Sunday at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand and Fiero 106.1 for a special live broadcast this Saturday at Roswell Honda. Double Up Days are back at Roswell Honda, and that means double your refund up to $2,000. And that means up to $4,000 towards your next new vehicle. We'll be on hand from 10 to 1 with free hot dogs and ice-cold Pepsi products. Plus, get signed up to win one of 3 mystery cash bags worth up to $300. Drawing at 1 p.m. must be present to win. See you Saturday, 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
As proud sponsors of the 2023 Golden Gloves event, let Candlewood Suites of Roswell knock you out with spacious rooms, quiet location, and great pricing. Recover in comfort at our Candlewood Suites, 4 Military Heights Drive, Roswell, 575-623-4300, 575-623-4300.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It's 19 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, excuse me, from the American Legion Post 61 family, Jen and Lee back with us. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How's life at the Post this morning?
Busy.
It's been very busy. I know springtime here. Things at Memory Lawn have been picking up.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we got very exciting news about Memory Lawn.
Yeah. So we finally.
Yes.
Things are showing up that we've been wanting and fighting and trying to get done, and now it's starting to look like a cemetery and a veterans, a place where veterans call home.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Yep.
Go ahead. Well, since we're already talking about it, go and spill the beans.
So Deborah Mayhew, she came to visit us. I think she's still in town today. They're switching over sextons, so they're interviewing some folks here locally,
Okay.
which is kind of exciting. And we finally managed to swap out the POW flag, so we got one up there that's a little bigger. Doesn't look quite so silly.
It looks like it's not a baby child version of it.
4x6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks like it's commiserate with the flagpole of which it resides on.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the biggest news is that they are actually talking with somebody local here to redo that front wall that's at those front gates.
I think that's being done today.
Yeah, I think they're going to hire someone either
Do
today
the assessing on it.
Yeah, they've got a plan laid out. They're
Okay. Gee was curious. Is it to restore to look what it is, or something all new?
No, they're going to take down what's there.
Okay.
They have pictures of the plaques and everything there on the wall, so those will be replaced.
Gotcha.
Back in the same order.
Sure.
And then they're going to put a new sign up that has the correct name of the cemetery on it, which is kind of nice.
It's a good idea.
And then they're planning to landscape that area. I think they're going to have to do this in stages, but we're pretty excited with this new development.
But it's being addressed.
It is.
Good.
Yes.
Well, and let's face it. If you saw that cemetery 3 years ago and you see it today, it's a whole night and day.
Yes.
Great difference.
I would like to think we had something to do with it.
I would not to toot horns, but I would definitely say the Post 61 family are one of the reasons we do that.
Yes.
We had some help from some great people. But,
Yes, we did.
But,
Very true.
But as far as spurning it on to make sure it happens and
Drawing
following
attention
through and getting things, because I think that was probably the problem with that cemetery for many years. People saw it and were upset about it and maybe start something and maybe get it cleaned up, but then it would go right back because it requires maintenance.
And I don't want to downplay the role of the community either. They threw some money at us, and
very true.
Absolutely.
We were able to take that money and
it was put on the radar of the public.
Yeah,
I think unless you drove by it every day or lived in that area, you probably or had a reason to go there, you really probably didn't pay much attention to it, and so the Post 61 family kind of put it on the radar and said, "Hey, there's been a small group of people that complaining for years, but I like to say we got it to a widespread where people
when we took
wanted
over,
to pony up some
literally,
point,
and I am not exaggerating, the weeds were over 6 feet high.
Yeah, it was an abandoned lot basically.
Yeah, and we had to take brush mowers out there, cut all that down, and then once we got the weed situation under control, then we kind of turned to the landscaping.
Once you gave it a haircut, it started looking like a cemetery.
Yeah. We got the owner to grade the road in there. I mean, the road was horrible in and out of there, and when he put up
years of neglect
when we
we
finally got him to put up a new flagpole, I mean, that was night and day. Once that happened, a ton of stuff started happening.
Right.
So I mean,
and we just finished painting the fence too.
The fence has been completely painted,
and that was a test in and of itself that took longer than it probably needed
due to weather and
due to weather,
due to logistics. It is what it is.
Plus, we had to repair the gate. I mean, we literally had to weld the gate. I mean,
thanks to Ralph Green for doing that.
Ralph was out there.
Ralph and a few others spearheaded a lot of great stuff out there.
Yeah,
very true.
Those guys, Don. I mean, there's a bunch of people that really, and then like you said, local folks that technically aren't affiliated with us in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, no, a lot of people that show up, like Lori Green and her crew and stuff like that. They'd come out every once in a while. I mean, they haven't been out in a little while, but I mean, I'm sure they will be as we get closer to summer.
At the end of the day, I'd like to say Post 61 was kind of the one that lit the fire to get this going. That's what
I'd
would
like
say.
to think that.
Yeah.
And then they finally gave us a crank and a key so we can adjust the flag as we need to.
They do for appropriate days and things and weather and all that.
Yeah, we're actually supposed to be at half-mast right now, but
oh, really?
I don't think we are at the moment. Yeah, it has to do with that Nashville thing.
Okay,
but
that's my problem. Is I got to be honest. We live in a world where it feels like we're always at half-mast because there's something going on.
I think.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
I personally
it does feel like
believe,
that,
and
doesn't
this is not trying to express a political opinion at all, but I think we go to half-mast too often. I think.
I understand what you're saying. I think if we do it for everyone, then what's the honor in doing
exactly
it?
right. And
You know,
that's what I
it's
think.
supposed to be reserved for people that have made a contribution to this country, have done and have maybe played the ultimate
And I
sacrifice.
don't want to downplay the role of, the injured parties. In
Exactly. I know what
Nashville or
you're
anything.
saying. I get your
but
sentiment.
at the same time, we reserve that for.
It's like we want to honor all humans, but certain things are meant for certain things, and we don't want to cheapen that by making it available to everyone.
Well, that and I
for you modern folks, it's like the blue check mark on Twitter. When you can just pay $10 for it, it ain't so special no more.
Right.
That's what we're trying to say.
And I think that like a lot of times it's done for political reasons. I mean, Cesar Chavez or people that were not affiliated with
The United States.
the ascendancy of the United States.
Right.
I mean, I think, and again, I'm walking a fine line here because of the politics of everything, but I think that if we reserved it for the people that built America, not the people that tore down America, if that makes sense, I think we'd be better off. But I don't want to go down that rabbit
We're just
hole.
talking about we're glad that the flag's back and the POW's flag is there at Memory Lawn, and we're so happy that the community has embraced helping us make that cemetery back to its proud form it should be.
Right, and I do want to thank Murphy Oil. I mean, they gave us $100 worth of gas. So
That's
I mean,
awesome.
Things like that have come together.
And depending on gas price at a particular moment, that either helps a lot or helps a little, depending on how much gas costs right now. Yeah.
We don't have a lot of money, but we have enough to do some mowing and stuff. I think Ralph's out there mowing today. So
Yes. Yep.
At least that's what he said.
By the way, if folks are listening and would like to donate directly to Memory Lawn and nothing else, we can do that. We have funds. Basically, we have accounts set up through American Legion. If you donate directly to us and say, "Hey, here's $100. I want it
put
to
it
go
in the memo line."
Yeah, I want it to go directly from Memory Lawn, and that's exactly where it'll go.
Right.
Now, if you say, "Here's $100 for American Legion," go do American Legion stuff with. That's what we'll do with it. But if you specifically say,
well, it might end up being used at Memory Lawn anyway,
because it's part of our passion too. So if we but if you earmark and say, no, I have relatives out
right
there.
now, I
make
need
sure.
donations for scouting and stuff like that.
So if you want to help out there, we
just took on Troop 2, so.
We've actually increased our scouting, our personnel here over the last couple months.
Fortuitous.
Well, we've
got
some
Pack 61, and now we have Troop 2. So.
Basically, what in a nutshell, a troop lost its sponsor, and we picked it up, and
they were
that's
100-year. Over 100-year charter.
Yeah,
so we couldn't let that one die.
We kept the number.
If we let that number die, it was a historical faux pas in the terms of scouting.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And
That's why we had to step up and
we
do it.
stepped up and said, we'll do our thing here. So, if you're a scout, a pro scouting person, and you want to help out that way, send us a check and say, give it to the scouts, and we'll make sure that's what happens.
Or if you have scouts or you want to be scouts, I mean,
they're always looking for a new.
We're now encompassing from 2nd through high school.
We got Cub Scouts and scouting, the Boy Scouts. Well, I think it's just called scouting now. But
well, scouting is Tuesday nights, and the pack is on Thursday nights.
Very good.
Yeah.
And the Cub Scouts are for the younger kids.
Yeah,
little
second through fifth grade or whatever.
And then once they get past that, they go into the scouting program.
That's right.
So now we have a
Exactly
scout
right.
troop that deals with scouts, and then a Cub Scout pack that they work with.
Yeah, I do want to make note that they changed the time that they're meeting, so they're meeting 6:30 instead of 6 now.
The pack is. The
pack.
The troop is
The
still
troop
meeting
meets at 7.
Okay.
7 on
So you got a
Tuesdays.
little time to finish up dinner and everything for
Right.
you to head out
Less
to the
of a
meeting.
crazy rush.
Just to change subjects here, today is Vietnam Day. I want to say welcome home to all of our Vietnam vets.
And a big thank you to all of our veterans out there and that served during the Vietnam era. We're still paying for how we treated you guys, and we're going to continue to do that till we're no longer
There
here
is
to
a celebration at Post 28 at 10 o'clock. In fact, I got to skedaddle out of here real quick.
If folks, if you've never been, they're on Montana there. I don't know the actual
1620.
address. 1620 Montana there. Come on out and come see the ceremony. Come, and of course, if you're a vet, want to be a Legionnaire, there's plenty of people to talk to while you're there too.
Yeah.
But definitely love to have, especially our Vietnam vets, would love to come and be a part and meet a few of your fellow compatriots around here. And
this is not a joint event. This is being done by Post 28,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
we at 61 will be attending.
well, it's Legion. We all support Legion.
It is.
You know,
We're supporting their event.
Matter of factly, we had our redo of 4 chaplains a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, on the
And-
19th.
And some of 28 was helping us do that too.
That's right.
It's very much.
Well, I want to really put a shout out to Louis Mestis. He always does the reading for the rabbi and does a great job.
Well, because he like us. He's not doing it because he wants to read a story. He's doing it because he knows that story's important, and it's important to share with
And he
people.
believes in it.
And he
Right.
believes it in. So that's why he does it. He does
That's
it
right.
because, which is great, because he sees what we see and a lot of Americans see. And that's why, regardless whether he's in Post 61 or not, he's like, I want to be a part of this because this is
for
something
sure.
It's important.
that is important. And, we can talk 28, 61, black, white, green, whatever, but we're all Americans at
Exactly.
first. And that's what we're here to celebrate.
For sure.
But that being said, come out. What time is that? At 10 o'clock?
That's at 10.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
Here in
here,
a couple minutes.
So I'll get you guys out of here in the next few minutes. So you
pretty
can,
short notice.
Yeah, I'll get you guys out of here in a few minutes so you can make sure you can have time to get over there and get
Appreciate that.
settled. And all
Yeah, I
that
hate
good stuff.
cutting our interview short, but
I understand completely. And please, if you would love to come, it's open to the public. I'm sure. So
Yes, it is.
please come. Bring if you got family members that were maybe they've passed. You want to celebrate or honor them, or you just want to come and thank some veterans. Come out and be a part of it. We'd
Yeah,
love
you don't
to
have
have
to be a veteran to attend.
Yeah.
The whole community's welcome.
Just come and see and be a part. And of course, like you said, if you want to learn more about it, there'll be plenty of people to talk to. So.
Yep.
yeah, and on Saturday we're having our big district meetings, so
Yes.
I will not be at the one down here. I have to go up to Conscious Dam, but anyway.
Yeah. And that one.
Don's probably going to be our incoming commander of District 6. It's most likely.
We'll find out Saturday.
We will, but it's most
Officially.
likely he will be.
But yeah, and that's more inside baseball. If you're a Legionnaire, then more than welcome to come. But if you're not, you're probably not going to find it very interesting.
No, it's just a meeting.
It's Legion
Yeah.
business. It's the semantics of Legion.
But if
business.
you're curious about the Legion, it's a good
Sure.
place to find
Yeah,
out.
come and meet.
Well,
There'll
there
be
will
plenty
be
to tell you.
veterans there. And
Absolutely.
there will be veterans from all the way as far south as Carlsbad.
Yeah, and it's an open meeting. You're more than welcome to come. I'm just saying, unless you
Probably
have,
bored to death.
unless
but
you have direct interest in being a Legionnaire or part of it, you'd probably be bored out of your gourd.
It'd be
But-
kind of like going to an ecclesiastical discussion for
Although-
the church or something.
Although they usually put out a good food spread for like burritos and things and donuts
Actually,
and
I think
whatnot.
they are serving some kind of
Yeah,
food.
they do have some
I
breakfasty
know.
type stuff.
I know they're working on donuts and burritos at least. I think there might be more, but that's what I've heard so far. So.
I do know that Robert Fresquez is working on pancake breakfast coming up here pretty soon.
Okay,
so
good.
It'll probably be on a Saturday.
Sometime in April
at
is what we're probably
First
thinking.
United Methodist Church, but I don't know the details yet. But that's very likely what's going to.
We'll definitely get the word out once we get all the details and everything.
And that's a fundraiser for Sons of the American Legion.
Yeah,
so all
correct.
the descendants of veterans.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And,
Robert Fresquez is the
Sons
is a
commander.
vice commander No, he's a vice commander for the detachment for the state of New Mexico.
Okay, I was just going to say he's our son's commander.
Well, he will be in April.
Be, yeah.
Right now
he's
second vice. But
that's right. That's right. Again, it's not official.
No, but he will be, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Nobody else is vying for the job. So.
Yeah.
And then, of course, tomorrow we have the Veterans Symposium down at the Armory.
Oh,
yes. That'll be all day, 8 to 5. Matter of fact.
You have a little blurb on that, do you?
Yeah, I actually have I interviewed Danielle last week on the radio about it. The event is 8 to 5. The all-day services include Veterans Property Tax Exemption Waiver Clinic, so if you need help with that, there's folks there to help you with that. Claims Clinic hosted by the DAV and the VA Regional Office and the New Mexico Department of Veteran Services. Goodwill Industries will be there, so if you want to learn about their services. If you're a nonprofit and need help with like labor stuff, they offer stuff. I'll talk to the Goodwill folks about that. Of course, local Chaves County Veterans Group, Post 61, and I'm not sure if VW is going to have it, but some of our local veterans agencies will have,
probably,
including Post 61, we'll have representation there. Veterans Healthcare Services and Vet Center, so if you need VA health issues, there's representatives there. Women's Veteran Program, so our female veterans are looking for programs and things specifically for them. There's going to be resources for you on that. VA home loans. VA home loans, pay for your house. If you're like, man, I don't have money to put a down payment, you're a veteran. You don't have to.
0%.
Yeah,
I did a VA home loan when I bought my home in Westminster.
Yeah.
Up in Colorado.
And boy, that was nice.
Oh, it's lovely.
It really ticked off the seller. But, because there's a lot of closing costs that you are not allowed to pay.
It's delightful.
It's a great deal. But I don't have a VA home loan anymore because I bought my house down here. So.
Well, it's weird. Like our first home, we've owned 2 homes. I've rented since then, but I've owned 2 homes. First home, we actually used my wife's teacher stuff.
Yeah.
The first time. Didn't even touch my VA. The home I'm in now, we went through VA. Oh, it's so great.
I know.
I put 0 down. It's like all these things. You're like, well, I got
a lot of people don't know that you can take advantage of this, and there's a lot of negativity about it because I remember I was talking to my my buyer broker when I was up in Westminster, and they said, "You're going through the VA. You're not going to get the loan." I says, "Of course I'm going to get the loan. I'm a veteran."
Yeah.
Right.
And once I started the paperwork, I had the loan in hand. When I walked into the buyer broker, and they're like, "Oh, congratulations, you just bought your house." I'm like, "Yes, I know."
I know.
So they try to badmouth it because of the fact.
No, it's a great.
I know, but the brokers badmouth it because there's a lot of things that the buyer doesn't pay.
Sure.
And so they want you.
They don't
to
make
do
as much money off you, so
that's exactly what it is.
They're not so happy about it,
right?
Yeah.
So they try to push FHA and all these other things because they make up to 6% or whatever.
Your VA benefits, if you're a veteran, honorably served, take advantage of it.
Yes.
I don't care what anybody else tells you. Take advantage of it. This is. Put it this way, there's perks for being a veteran, and then there's really good perks to being a veteran.
Yes.
And your VA home loan is one of those. The GI Bill's amazing. It's great. It's a wonderful thing. But I personally think that home loan's a bigger deal to me.
Yeah. I want to make it perfectly clear. To qualify for a VA home loan, you must have served 180 continuous days under Title 10. All right. So that there's no ambiguity there. The definition of a veteran on a national scale is 180 days. Now, here in New Mexico, you can qualify for some VA benefits at 90 days, but home loan is not part of that because that's a national program.
Yeah. And by the way, that first one I mentioned senior services too is part of this. So if you're veteran senior services, but that if you haven't taken advantage of your veterans property tax, Chaves County in New Mexico honors all that. You need to go talk to the assessor's office and get that paperwork done. But if you have no idea what you're doing, come out to the event tomorrow. They'll be help. They probably do it right there for you while you're there.
You want
don't pay any more taxes.
You
want
to file for both the veteran benefit, but you also want to file as head of household.
Yeah.
And you get the maximum benefit allowed.
Absolutely. So take advantage of it. This is one of these perks. By the way, and just on the event tomorrow. 8 to 5. Now some timed events, things that they're going to officially open the event with the presentation of colors at 9 a.m. with Youth Challenge. It opens at 8, but the actual opening ceremony will be at 9. From 10 to noon, they're going to have a PACT Act Town Hall, and that's for presented by the VA Healthcare, VA Regional Office, and New Mexico Department of Veteran Services. PACT Act, if you know what that is and are familiar with it, then you probably want to make sure you're listening on that one. For another entertainment thing at noon, the New Mexico Military Institute Gauss Rifle Team will do a performance at noon.
Oh, very cool.
That's really cool.
They're popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
So you want to check that out.
You got to watch those guys. They're awesome.
And now, this one you want to pay attention to. At 1 p.m., they're going to have a survivor's benefit presentation by the VA Regional Office.
That's very important.
So if your spouse is a veteran and you're not really what your survivor benefits are, or if you're not familiar what your spouse gets or what your dependents get or what you do, you want to be a part of that survivor benefit meeting. They're going to educate you on all of that. So when the veteran dies, what is the family entitled to? What are they not entitled to?
Right.
You get to learn or find out what you're available to. And
it's going to be a lot of good information.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
And that thing with the veterans benefits, we run into it so often that so many people don't understand what it is they're actually entitled to.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those benefits can be really helpful. I know some people that have been in a pinch financially to pay for all the costs because they didn't realize that they were already entitled to these benefits to help cover some costs.
Absolutely. So please, even if you only got a couple hours, carve out some time. If nothing else, you go and you learn a bunch of information you already knew. If not, you could find things that could really help you navigate your life, whether it's finding jobs to getting benefits to getting benefits you're entitled to that you just haven't taken advantage of. I mean, there's a lot of resources that are going to be available. It's all day tomorrow.
Yep. And even if you don't need them now, maybe sometime down the line you're going to, and you'll have that person's business card, and you'll go, oh, hey, now I need your help. Can you help me?
By the way, if you're a high school student and you want to play baseball for Legion Baseball, there's going to be at least one, maybe two teams coming out of Roswell this year.
Awesome.
So get with your coaches.
Tell them you want to play Legion Baseball.
Play Legion Baseball, Is it a team as part of one of the other leagues, or is it an Legion League? Own league.
It's a Legion League. Okay,
yep.
Cool.
And a lot of your Major League baseball players started out playing Legion ball.
Good deal.
And if you are really good and the teams go all the way, you'll end up in
probably
Shelby, North Carolina for the.
They're doing it in Carolina. They're doing the national.
Yeah, they moved
games.
it to their nationally a couple years ago, so it's always out of Shelby. But
good.
You can meet all kinds of people from all over the place, network, and really up your game.
Yeah,
awesome.
And not to mention, it's fun.
You get to play baseball
in the
have
off season.
fun.
Yeah, so you don't have to stop playing if you don't want to.
Good deal. So reach out and see if we maybe get you more than a couple teams. Maybe we get a whole.
Well, we're hoping to get at least one, but I think they're talking two right now.
Okay.
Yep.
And if we can get NIMI involved, it might be three.
Yeah, we can get a whole batch of teams and have our own intramural league playing teams here as they go to play on other teams.
Yep.
Yeah,
with,
our Don Weld is kind of taking the spearhead on this.
Oh, good for him.
So
is he a baseball fan? I'm not sure.
He must be.
I think he's just a big supporter of kids.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if he's I've never known to see if he was like a baseball fan or a sports fan.
Sports occasionally.
Yeah.
But
I know he loves
overwhelming.
Bitter Lake and
it's not
American
like Pat
Legion.
Golf, who only talks about football.
Yeah,
especially Green Bay.
Basketball.
Packers fan?
Basketball. Yeah. She's from the Cheesehead State.
I wonder how she's feeling about Aaron Rodgers. Probably not going to be there next year.
No idea. You'll have to ask her next time you see her.
I'll point that out.
That'll be an hour conversation.
Yeah, well, I'll ask her at the beginning of the meeting. That way, I won't be there late.
Yeah.
But I'll see her Saturday. I'll ask her on Saturday.
Yep.
The meeting on Saturday. But by the way, if you're interested in becoming a Legionnaire and things, if you're a veteran out there, we'd love to have you at our next meeting. Far as our Legion Post meeting, it'll be next week, actually, next Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next Thursday will be the first Thursday in April.
Week from Thursday, yeah.
Yeah.
Week from tomorrow.
So next Thursday, 6 p.m. at First United Methodist Church. We meet the first Thursday of every month at 6 p.m.
Yep.
You're more than welcome to come and sit in on our meetings and stuff. And if you're interested in becoming a Legionnaire or a member of our auxiliary or a son, we meet all that same night. Sometimes we meet jointly. Once a quarter, we'll meet jointly all together. But
I think the next one's June. Right?
Yes, in June.
But
we have elections in May, and then we have June is our big meeting, and of course that's the month of our state convention, which is down in Las Cruces this year. So.
Yeah.
The next year will be here.
But if you would like to join us, it's $50 a year for the Legion and the auxiliary.
Yeah.
$25 for Sons.
Yes.
And a lot of your dues stay here in Roswell.
Absolutely.
And if you're under 18, we have a juniors program.
We do.
So it's $15.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely. And please come to our meeting and learn more. If you want to see if you're qualified and stuff, we'll take care of that right there on the spot and do all that.
If for your first year joining Scouts, if you're a member of the American Legion, then we knock all that money off of the first year. And the second year, it's just our portion.
So if you have a child that's interested in Scouts and mom or dad's a veteran and interested in saying, hey, come to our Legion, then we come be a Legionnaire and save some money on getting your kids scouting stuff.
Absolutely.
So as an added bonus.
Yep.
But wait, there's more. We'll get you with that. So now we'll go in a free fly swatter.
We are looking.
Come summer, you're going to.
We are looking for an honoree for Gold Star in April. So if there's anybody out there that
any families out there, Gold Star families,
service, let us know.
Yeah, Gold Star Families Day is the last Sunday in April.
I gotta be honest. I would love to have the problem is we don't need them because we just don't have as many Gold Star because we haven't had wars. But unfortunately, that's not the world we live in, and unfortunately, we're not going to run out of supply of Gold Star.
Well, either come see us in person, or you can go to roswelllegion.org, or give me a call 575-268-0220.
And if you don't remember it, just go to roswelllegion.org.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
right there.
Easy to remember, and you'll find the phone number if you want to talk to them there. But
it's actually right there.
Also, while you're there, don't forget scholarships. If you have students attending college, applications for that. We're always taking applications, and then a couple times a year we award some. So keep filling those out.
Just choose 2 recipients for the Normandy Harpole Scholarship.
Good. I love it.
I haven't announced them yet because the money hasn't showed up yet.
Gotcha.
It's been ordered. Apparently, it's at National.
Okay.
In fact, I got to call National and find out what's going on with it. But
the check was lost in the mail. Huh?
Well, something happened to it.
But keep turning applications, and like you said, we when the monies come in, we do our thing and our order scholarships. But we want to keep those applications on hand. So
I do want to put a shout out there to Crumlin because they helped us out quite a bit. They haven't sent us a check this year, so maybe they're not doing it this year. But they were helping to sponsor the Normandy Harpole Scholarship, but. Apparently, they
might just need a phone call made and said,
yeah.
But of course, Crumlin's been a big supporter of many things in the community.
Indeed.
We're very thankful for everything they do for us and many other organizations.
Yeah, they helped us out quite a bit for the Veterans Day Parade last year.
And I know they're a big part in helping the veteran transport folks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can never thank them enough for that. There's so many folks that can't get to their doctor appointments now solely because of that Veterans Transport Service. So we're big thankful for that.
But we also got our Charity Bear.
I was just about to say Charity Bears, yes. We're still working on them, and we have a few more that are ready to be donated. We just need to figure out where we're going to take them to.
Okay. Looking for the next emergency or services agency that could use them.
Yep.
So.
And so if you guys would like to donate to that program as well,
we meet officially the first Thursday of every month at 6, but every other Thursday other than that first one,
almost every Thursday,
they're usually there making charity bears and doing craft projects and things like that. So even if you just want to come out and be a part of the sewing circle, they meet about 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30 is bring your own meal.
Yeah,
and then about 6 o'clock we start tracing and cutting and sewing and.
But you don't have to know anything about sewing to participate. We need people to.
If you can stay within the lines,
templates you can draw lines around, and then you need people to cut them out.
If you can cut and follow the lines, then you can probably be a valuable assistant.
Yes, very much so.
Excellent. Again, roswelllegion.org is the website. Check it out. If you have any questions, come out to our next meeting. We meet, like I said, the first Thursday of every month, 6 p.m.
Right.
First United Methodist Church there on Pennsylvania.
Second
come on
floor.
Out. Yeah, come on in. You'll see. Usually we have a sign out that says American Legion.
Usually,
yeah. If not, just run around saying hello. Someone will find you. But
Yeah, you're right into the Zumba people.
Oh, but they'll say usually on Thursdays there's Zumba going on, so you might get wrapped up in a Zumba class. But, we'll go upstairs.
It's fun though.
Hey, if we see you sweating and panting when you get there, we'll know what happened.
Yeah. We're far away from the exercise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, we'll let you guys go because you got a ceremony to get to here, so we appreciate that. And we'll see you guys. I'll see you sooner, but we'll see you here on the radio next month. And and of course, folks, if you do have any questions about anything, reach out. Get a hold of me. I'll get you in touch with these folks too. But if veterans,
you're kind of a part of our group.
I am. I paid my dues and everything. And
well, not this year yet.
Oh, I still owe for this one. I got to cut a check
because it is March.
That's true. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, these Marches.
Everybody's got their hand out. Jeez, that's kidding. But if you're interested in being a part, we'd love to have you. We're always looking for great people to come be a part of our service organization. We like to serve, but we also, it's fun. It's fun. We camaraderie, talking, shooting the breeze. It's all part of that.
And even if you can't be a member, that's okay too. We'd love to have your help with whatever project we're working on.
Absolutely.
We always need another set of hands.
Absolutely. We're about the community and helping it. And if you want to be that, we'd love to have you with us.
Very true.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys.
Thanks, Mike.
We'll see you guys next time, and tell everybody I said hi over at the ceremony here. I'm not going to make it. I'm a little busy.
Well, no, you're busy. Yeah. You got things to do.
They pay me, and they insist on me doing work for some reason.
Weird, right?
I don't know what it is about that. It's like, they won't give me the money for no reason.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, they won't give me the money for no reason.
Yeah.
All right, it is 9:49. Let's pause for weather, news, and quick commercial break. Don't go away.
News update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Authorities are not recommending any criminal charges for a woman who shot another man near Carlsbad earlier this month along National Parks Highway. 50-year-old Michael Strickland was shot and killed by what police said was a family member after a fight at the Carlsbad RV Park in the 4300 block of National Parks Highway. Carlsbad Police Lieutenant Andrew Swanson said they're investigating the case as a self-defense shooting. The county district attorney will have the final say on any potential criminal charges. Eddy County Manager Alan Davis has announced his retirement effective immediately. After serving 3 years as county manager, the county commissioners have actually known about the impending departure since late February. A list of potential replacements for Davis has not been released, and no timeline has been given as to having a replacement selected. Davis came to the county after being an operations superintendent for Chevron's Delaware Basin operations. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Do you remember when you were told that the internet, especially social media, would bring us all together in tolerance? The school shooting in Nashville shows us once again what a load of hogwash those promises were. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. Since Monday's Nashville school shooting, compassion online is nowhere to be found. Social media is ablaze with horrendous attacks on Christians, coming from news and sports commentators, entertainers, and social activists. Prayer is openly mocked. Since the shooter was a trans woman, Christians and Christian schools in general are being blamed for the indoctrination of their children against drag shows and the LGBTQ+ lifestyle. Online, there appears to be plenty of room for all of this hatred, but precious little sympathy and comfort. There's a growing feeling that the harm of social media can often far outweigh the good, and all this hate doesn't help. Hey, be sure to get my longer daily podcast, Kim Commando, today. Looking for peace of mind when it comes to your car's performance? Auto repairs can be a headache, especially when they come out of nowhere. That's why I have CarShield. When my older car needed expensive repairs, CarShield came to my rescue. With just a $100 deductible, they handled all the paperwork and saved me over $4,000. CarShield offers protection plans for every budget. Plus, get roadside assistance, courtesy towing, and rental car options while your vehicle is repaired. CarShield is dedicated to protecting what you drive because it's just a matter of time before you need repairs. Don't wait until it's too late. Get coverage like I did. Call CarShield today at 800-858-2550 to save 20% on your plan. Lock in your price and it will never go up. Call 800-858-2550. That's 800-858-2550 or visit carshield.com/Kim to save 20% today. That's carshield.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure moving into the Great Basin and across our area, so we'll be getting sunshine today, but very gusty wind, 50 to 55 miles per hour, and our afternoon high in the mid-80s. Watch out for some blowing dust across the roadways, mid-40s and very windy for the overnight hours and clear. And then Friday, it'll be another windy day. Our afternoon high about 70, sunshine and gusts up to 40. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Let's catch you up on some baseball and softball small school style as the Dexter Demons hit the road to take on East Mountain on Tuesday, a baseball doubleheader. East Mountain won both games 10-4 in the first, 12-4 in the second. Dexter will try to get back on track against NMMI, a doubleheader that starts at 11 a.m. on Saturday. NMMI on Tuesday defeated Sandia Prep 8-1. The Colts are already 9-1 on the season. Great start. In softball action, the Dexter tournament took place over this past weekend. Dexter made it to the championship of their own tourney by defeating Capitan in the first game and then walloping Eunice 16-1 in the semis. But Dexter fell to Portales 9-2 in the championship. The Demons back in action at Loving. This should be a great doubleheader. Twin Bill starts at 11 a.m. Saturday in Loving. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Fuddler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Stocks rallied Wednesday as Wall Street shakes off more of the fear that dominated it earlier this month. A federal judge has ordered the U.S. government to resume oil and gas lease sales on federal lands in North Dakota. Hailing the ruling as a victory, North Dakota Attorney General Drew Wrigley said the canceled lease sales have cost North Dakota over $100 million in revenue each year and deprived the nation of much-needed access to oil and gas during these difficult times of high inflation and threats to energy security. Manufacturers of everything from pickup trucks to homes are still grappling with tight supplies of microchips and cement, shortages that could translate into delays and higher costs for federal efforts to arm Ukraine against Russian aggression and rebuild U.S. crumbling infrastructure and manufacturing. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Need new windows for your home? Beware of the sales gangster. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing and Windows here. A sales gangster is a window salesperson with the mobster mentality. They intimidate, bully, and fast talk you into buying their less than quality windows during a 3-hour pitch. Think I'm kidding? Call a few window companies and see for yourself. Or you can skip the sales gangsters and call Trustmark. We have fair, no-nonsense pricing on our premium windows, and our appointments take only about 60 to 75 minutes. Just long enough to listen to what you need, show you your options, answer your questions, and give you a straightforward quote. Then it's up to you. We can take a no just as easy as a yes, but I'll guarantee you this: no sales gangsters. Sound fair? Call Trustmark Roofing and Windows for your no-obligation spring window assessment. 575-755-7663 or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Talk radio has landed on the all-new 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Multiple casualties reported in last night's crash of 2 Army Black Hawk helicopters in southwest Kentucky. The aircraft from the 101st Airborne Division out of Fort Campbell crashed in Trigg County during a routine training mission. Apparently, no one on the ground was hurt.
The crash occurred in a field, some wooded area, but primarily a field area. At this time, there are no reports of resident damage.
Trooper Sarah Burgess with the Kentucky State Police. The audio from WSMV-TV. The latest train derailment forcing people to flee their homes in Raymond, Minnesota, about 90 miles west of Minneapolis. 22 tanker cars involved. Some burst into flames. The train was carrying corn syrup and ethanol. As the U.S. sends large amounts of military aid to Ukraine, there's concern about America's weapons stockpiles. The Pentagon's top military officer says the U.S., in his words, has a long ways to go in beefing up its arsenal to meet any potential large-scale conflict.
Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley tells Congress the war in Ukraine has underscored the heavy use of munitions that's required during any major conflict. At a hearing of the House Armed Services Committee, Milley and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin faced repeated questions about the impact the war is having on the Pentagon as it supplies Ukraine with much of the ammunition it needs to fend off Russian forces. The Pentagon is requesting $30 million in the 2024 fiscal year budget and to buy the maximum number of munitions that American industry can produce. Ben Thomas, Washington.
The U.S. economy grew at a slower than expected annual pace of 2.6% October through December, according to the government. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 126 points, the Nasdaq trading 105 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
A rift has opened between Jerusalem and Washington over Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's proposed judicial reform bill. We get the latest from the Media Line's Felice Friedson.
It was one of the sharpest rebukes between stewards of the U.S.-Israel alliance, making no effort to hide his displeasure with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's controversial plans for judicial reform. President Biden told reporters he hopes Netanyahu walks away from it, saying Israel cannot continue down this road. Netanyahu responded with a rebuke of his own, asserting that a sovereign nation makes decisions by the will of its people and doesn't need the U.S. to intervene in domestic affairs. But President Biden might have had the last word in this spat, telling reporters he has no plans to extend to Netanyahu that valued diplomatic currency, a White House invitation. I'm Felice Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. The Senate has done its part to end the legal justification for a state of war between the U.S. and Iraq.
Republican Senator Todd Young says a lot's changed over the past 2 decades.
20 years ago, Iraq was our enemy. Today, Iraq is a strategic partner.
A new reality, Majority Leader Charles Schumer says, has led to broad bipartisan support for ending the use of force authorization.
This is not just going to be a one-house action. We have good support in the House of Representatives. The president is for it.
Critics say the bill could weaken U.S. capacity to help Iraq stave off growing threats from Iran. Bob Agnew, Capitol Hill.
And an update now on the crash of the 2 military helicopters in southwestern Kentucky. A military spokesman now confirms that 9 people were killed in the crash that involved 2 U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopters happened during a training mission. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday. Mm-hmm. By the way, if you were listening last hour and caught the American Legion Post 61 conversation, that event about the Veterans Symposium, getting underway right now.
Yes.
0800 started out at the National Guard Armory at 1 West Earl Cummings Loop.
Yes.
But it's going on all day, 8 to 5.
Uh-huh.
So make your way out there today.
Every time I hear the word symposium, I can't remember if it was from Community or what the show was, but there was just a quote. They go, I love symposia.
Symposia. Is that
the general sport of symposium?
Okay. I didn't know if one was in a symposium. Were they in symposium?
I love symposia. Every time I hear symposium, I think of that line.
How was wrestling last night?
Oh, awesome.
Well, I was watching My Big Bang Theory.
I mean,
as
Roy.
I do. And I noticed, I saw they kept announcing that they're premiering their
the
reality show.
Well, it's AEW All Access, which is basically about a behind-the-scenes show, which I didn't get to watch because.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact. Now, okay, I'm probably incriminating myself here a little bit, but I sort of pirate my stream to watch wrestling.
Oh, I got you.
So the stream that I pirated, it went and started showing something else after.
Oh, so it's not,
so
not
I didn't get to
available
watch,
on the pirates.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch All Access. Don't say it out loud.
They got to pull it out of their.
Stop saying the word.
Booty.
Stop saying the P word. I said it quietly and through gritted teeth. That's different.
The scallywags.
It's like this. Yarr.
Those scallywags won't pull it out of the treasure chest, huh?
I'm not willing to pay for TBS, all right?
Well, and I noticed it was on, and the pull back the curtain. I would not watch the wrestling, but I would watch the behind the scenes of the wrestling.
From what I've seen of it, it actually is awesome. And what I like about it is it just completely cancels out kayfabe. Yeah, because you're basically seeing the actual stories. Yeah. Like one of the coolest things is from this first episode it was basically Adam Cole and Britt Baker, because Adam Cole was on his road to recovery.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with Britt is she's a literal dentist. Like her persona, her wrestling persona is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, but she is an actual
So when
dentist.
she's not wrestling on the weekends,
she
or
has
whenever,
a dental practice.
She's out fixing teeth.
Yeah, like she has a literal dental practice.
I feel like that could be what happens when her own teeth get jacked up? Does she have like a dental?
Oh, every dentist has a dentist.
Yeah.
I actually asked Dr. Keon who his dentist was, and he told me, I can't remember who
they don't dentist each other.
No. That'd be next to impossible, I feel like,
I don't know.
You're too close. Weird. You're too close to the game. You have to have your own. There's a lot of trust, especially when it's like if you were a doctor, you would want somebody who is like learned as you.
Yeah. Well, I would think, like over there, they're both very learned.
Well, yeah, they're kind of
each other
neck and neck. I don't know. I'd be curious to ask him that, but yeah, no. So that was pretty much the entirety of the first episode was kind of those two people.
Yeah,
and just kind of a behind the scenes, because Adam Cole's been out for 9 months. I think he made his return last night, but he's been out for 9 months with nonsense.
Okay,
all kinds of injuries.
Oh yeah,
concussion. I think actually.
Well, it is wrestling.
Yeah,
they tend to get hurt.
Ever since Benoit, things have been taken a lot more seriously when it comes to concussion protocol.
Yeah. Do they cancel matches now because of injuries and stuff?
Very much so,
yeah. Because that never seemed to be a thing back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because
you see a lot more.
They just take copious amount of painkillers and then get back up there.
You see a lot more of the refs throwing up the X these days.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Again, because I don't watch on a regular basis or at all, really.
All right. You're right at all.
I don't know.
That's fine. Nobody really does.
One thing I am kind of looking forward to, as I was watching my marathon of Moonshiners yesterday, they kept doing an advertisement for the new season of a show that they're going to premiere next Wednesday. It's season 2 or 3 of Growing Belushi. You ever seen this show?
No.
Yeah. So is
he a weed farmer?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi.
Growing
weed.
The brother of John Belushi.
Arguably the least successful Belushi,
according to Jim Belushi.
Yes. You know what? I'm gonna back that. I'm gonna back up my statement and say arguably the most successful Belushi, which is a depressing statement.
And I watched the season before it. It seemed like a year ago, way back when like COVID was at its COVID-iest. Mm-hmm. And I was watching it, and they ended it on a cliffhanger, like he got his farm going up there in Oregon and all that. And he had like a big fire that like burned like the weed barn down. Contact buzz, I'm guessing. But anyway,
the whole neighborhood was high.
They kind of left it on like a big cliffhanger, and then I ain't heard nothing in like 2 years, and then all of a sudden I see a commercial today like season 3 or whatever it is of Growing Belushi, and there's Jim Belushi running around his weed farm acting like Jim Belushi, and I'm like, all right. I'm curious to see what happens, so I'm looking forward to.
It took him a while to get things back to semi-normalcy.
So I'm curious to see what happens in the next G.
That being said, have you been at all following the current couple of past seasons of South Park?
Not regularly, no.
So
I just catch
the whole like side story in South Park right now is that Randy is running a weed farm called Tegrity Farms.
Oh yeah, that's been the thing for years. Yeah.
Right. But I feel like I didn't know this Belushi thing was a thing. I feel like that is an almost wink and a nod towards the Belushi thing now that I'm hearing this, because it's basically the same thing. It's look at Randy Marsh running a weed farm on South Park, and look at Jim Belushi running a weed farm on a reality show.
Yeah. Now, based on the previous episodes I've watched, I think Aykroyd is a partner in this one.
Okay.
Like, financially, I don't think he has anything with the growing or any of the day-to-day.
Does he come in and talk about the weird dimensions of a skull?
But I got a feeling. Well, and I think some of the strains of his weeds are Blues Brothers related jokes and memorabilia.
Sure.
So I think to do all that, he had to get Aykroyd on board to
sign off,
just to sign off on the Blues Brothers branding and all that stuff. So I think he's a silent partner. It's funny, though.
I really want to taint my brother's legacy. Can you come on board with me for this venture?
Well, in all fairness, his brother's known for being the biggest drug addict and comedic genius of all time. So I don't know if it tarnishes that at all.
Okay. Do you want to know how it would track? If, let's say, for example, Belushi was running his own heroin dispensary. that would track. Okay?
Yeah.
If he was running, let's say, for example, a speedball factory,
I'm just saying,
would track.
It's adjacent.
It's semi-adjacent.
But the thing
I wish John Belushi was just a weed head.
And you know what's kind of funny is that I remember in some of the previous episodes, like they bust out like celebrities of his past, like the main buddy or brother-in-law, whatever it was on According to Jim. Remember that guy?
I vaguely do.
He showed up in other shows, like he was in 2.5 Men.
It wasn't Billy Gardell, was it?
No.
Okay,
no. It's that blonde-haired guy. He was in Last Man Standing for a little bit.
Okay,
as the neighbor who was down on his luck. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Was that Chris Titus?
I don't know his name. It's not Titus. No, it's not Titus.
Okay.
I don't know his name. It's not Titus.
Because Titus showed up on something.
No, he's a heavyset dude.
Okay,
blonde, baldish. I don't know his name, but he was like Jim's brother-in-law or brother or best friend on the According to Jim show. I don't remember. And he shows up in a couple episodes as kind of, weirdly enough, comic relief in the Growing Belushi show. But yeah, there was a couple episodes of him and Jim just kind of running around acting like idiots. As part of the episode too, in between when they're trying to talk about the growing business, and so they do things to make the show entertaining. So they invite people to the farm, and it was like members of According to Jim get to show up and tour the farm, But he was in it. I don't remember his name.
I was going to say it's probably an improvement on. It's probably an improvement on John Belushi's legacy, because you go from Speedball.
Larry Joe Campbell.
That's him. That's the guy.
You go from Speedball, which is what killed him, and to just normal weed.
Well, and in all fairness, John Belushi was on the path long before that Speedball got him. He was kind of, that was just the thing that kind of pushed it over the edge, I think. He was, back, it's no different than him and Chris Farley and all that. I mean, they get addicted to the fame, the thing, and they need something to keep that up. And when the comedy doesn't do it anymore, they go to the drugs.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy, but
But in retrospect, it's kind of like improves that legacy a little bit.
Well, I don't know.
But that being said, check out According to Jim's Weed Farm, coming soon to a small screen near you.
Next Wednesday on Discovery Channel.
They got real dark real quick.
Yeah, they got all this, it improves them.
You're like joking about According to Jim's Weed Farm, and all of a sudden, if your loved one has a problem with heroin
it always goes
or
dark
morphine
here. What
addiction,
happens? I'm just
call
1-800. All right, we probably should get to the meat show.
I accidentally go dark all the time.
We got waiters in the waiting room.
We do. We're going to talk Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge here in just a few minutes. Don Weld and Carl Jacobson are going to join us, give us an update what's happening out at Bitter Lake. Talk about some things, events, what have you, and just the beauty of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. So we'll have that conversation just a bit. Later on, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Is my greasy pork barbecue on a dirty ashtray ready yet? All right, good. Getting hungry. All right, it is 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure moving into the Great Basin and across our area, so we'll be getting sunshine today, but very gusty wind, 50 to 55 miles per hour, and our afternoon high in the mid-80s. Watch out for some blowing dust across the roadways, mid-40s and very windy for the overnight hours and clear. And then Friday, it'll be another windy day. Our afternoon high about 70, sunshine, and gusts up to 40. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 48 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 71%. Winds at the moment out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. That will change. We do have a red flag warning today. That's going to kick in at 11, remain in effect through 7 p.m. And if that's not enough warning for you, a wind advisory that will kick in at 11 and remain in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. For today, could see some areas of blowing dust for this afternoon. The good news part of the day, sunny and warm with a high of 83, but those winds are going to be up out of the south 10 to 20 this morning, increasing later today 25 to 35, gusting as high as 50 miles per hour later this afternoon. For tonight, expect areas of blowing dust before 9 p.m., otherwise clear with an overnight low of 42. Winds will remain up out of the southwest 25 to 35, gusting as high as 50 miles per hour. After midnight tonight, winds will drop down 15 to 25. Although that doesn't feel like much of a drop. For Friday, more wind and a little cooler. Areas of blowing dust after 9. Sunny and 72 with winds up out of the west. 15 to 20 early, later increasing 25 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear and windy with an overnight low of 35. West winds 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30, dropping down 5 to 10 after midnight. For your weekend, a little less wind. And really warm temperature-wise, mostly sunny and 76 on Saturday. North winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Sunny and 83 on Sunday, and then we'll be in the mid-80s to start your work week next week as well, too. All right, it is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take about a 2-minute commercial break, and then we'll talk Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Aaron Watson, live at Greyhound Arena. Hey, it's Aaron Watson. With his full band and all of your favorites. Doors open at 6. Concert starts at 7 on Saturday night, April 29th. Check out Aaron Watson at Greyhound Arena in Portales, New Mexico, with special guests Will Bannister and Jenna Polette.
Yes, it's never too late to find a new home.
Tickets are on sale now at enmu.edu/Aaron Watson or the Campus Union Building.
Fast cars, slow kisses.
Aaron Watson, Saturday, April 29th at Greyhound Arena.
Hey, Portales. Hey, Clovis. Get your tickets now. They're selling fast.
Sponsored by J.P. Stone Community Bank. Presented by Eastern New Mexico University.
Never going out of style in my Chevy, parking at the levee.
At Artesia General Hospital, we want to help you feel better faster. And when prescribed by your provider, IV therapy can be one of the quickest ways to help you feel well again. Our infusion center services include antibiotic or allergen therapies, blood transfusions, and medication infusions for chronic conditions like Crohn's disease and osteoporosis. Whether you choose care at the clinic or hospital, you can expect a highly skilled staff and a private, safe setting with your comfort in mind. Referrals and appointments are required. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/infusion.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, from Friends of Bitter Lake, Don Weld here, and then actually, his day job's at Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, Carl Jacobson. Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for having us. And for folks that are new to the area, are not familiar, Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is our little oasis just outside of town. Of course, we have bottomless lakes out there, and then we have bitter lakes. Bottomless lakes, if you want to go and swim and boat and do all that stuff, that's where you go have that
recreational.
Fun. Bitter Lake, if you want to come out and hike and walk and see the scenic stuff and it's a wildlife reserve. It's the nature is the priority. You are not.
Yes.
You are a visitor.
That's right. That's a good way to put it.
Pretty much sum it up.
Yeah. We're in somebody else's home.
That's right. Yeah. You come in and wipe your feet when you come in. Take your hat off.
Yeah.
I guess that would probably be a good, accurate, in a nutshell, description of the two different places.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
But it really is, in reality, in the big scope of things, and Don and I joke about this all the time, Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is actually nature's pilot flying J, is basically what it is. It's a rest area for all the migratory animals, birds, butterflies, everything that kind of comes through, and it is called home for some permanent wildlife and obviously plant life and things. But in essence, when the migratory animals go south for the winter and north for the summer, they stop here to gas up and stay the night and take care of the kids and do all the things just like you do when you travel. So
yeah, definitely, that's a good way to put it. Like especially for a lot of the migratory birds, like we. Like the sandhill cranes, they come and go, and like earlier this year we had a record count over the last 35 years. We had 34,000 cranes this past October, but.
Is it somebody's job to count those?
Yeah, that's my
volunteer.
job.
That would be me. Carl, I go out on the weekends and count cranes.
You get a little help from the volunteers.
Yeah, we get a lot of. We have some really good volunteers that help us.
You aren't sitting there going 342, 340. Oh, what number was I on? 342.
That'd be pretty impossible to do on my own. The whole refuge.
Yeah,
but we had. Quite a few, and then this past week, like they're all gone. They're going back north now.
They're moving on to their I guess summer destination here.
Yeah, up in Alaska and Siberia is where they end up going.
That's long.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Ballpark curiosity. What's the average? For some of these cranes, what's a typical travel day? How many miles will they go in a day on average? Do you know?
I think they can go like. Up to like 100 miles or so.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot in a day considered. And by the way, they don't do it one and two. It's thousands of them moving at one time.
Yeah.
And we've talked a little bit about this, Don. When you see them in their formations and everything, that's all science, man. That's them navigating the wind stream and all the things that airplanes use when they fly. They use that formation to navigate and to mitigate through the Gulf streams and the various turbulence and stuff that happen.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, they use like the heat to like spiral up and they get higher up in the air. It's pretty incredible.
It's fascinating to watch. So that's what a trip to Bitter Lake will do. Come and learn this stuff, hang out at the visitor center and read some of the stuff. Help out the friends here and buy a T-shirt or a book or something, and then, but definitely walk the trails and see some of this stuff, and of course, here in the fall will be the big events really happen. Dragonfly Festival, the crane watching when they come back as they're heading south. You come out and get out.
October.
Yeah, you get out early or late and get some cocoa and watch the cranes get settled in for the night or whatever, and watch that. But in the meantime, this is something that's about Bitter Lake is no matter what time of the year, it's like kind of a different, it's like right now you're seeing the spring into summer, so you're seeing, it's probably a little bit quieter as far as the migratory stuff, but this is the season for other animal life and certain plant life starts showing up and things. So just because it's not the dragonflies and cranes of the fall, it's a whole nother bunch of things happening out there right now. So
yeah.
So kind of what it's like. So someone say they want to go do a hike this weekend. What's kind of the hot season right now for things happening at Bitter Lake as far as things to look for?
Well, there's a lot of like wading birds that are coming in from. So they sort of come in the summertime and breed there in the summer, and so there's a lot of like snowy plovers coming in, which are really, really cool birds to watch. You bring your binoculars; they're pretty far out there.
Okay. So is Bitter Lake like their summer home? Like this is where they go as far north for the summer.
Yeah, exactly. So they come to breed in the summer, and they'll nest in like the mud flats and just like the areas where because we draw our wetlands down in the summertime, so we expose some of the mud flats and.
That's where all the food is and all that.
Yeah, so you'll see the cute little birds running around and pecking at things, and starting to see some dragonflies come out. Not like the fall, but they're coming out. And
now, do the dragonflies kind of linger at Bitter Lake all the time, or are they migratory as well?
No, they're not migratory. They'll so they say the adults will die off. The adults they're not. In their adult form for very long.
Okay.
Like only a few days to a few weeks they're in that flying form. But their larvae, their young, stay in the water the whole time. So they'll overwinter as larvae.
So they're kind of incubating or kind of like the baby in your mom's womb, kind of growing and maturing there.
Yeah, so they're all just hanging out in that form in the water, and then in the summertime they grow up into the adults, and then they'll metamorphose and start flying around.
Okay. So like as adults, like we talk about the monarch butterflies, and we've talked in those conversations, and really some of the roles of those monarchs are just to get the clan from point A to point B, and then they die off and the next generation takes over. Like for dragonflies, when they become adult, what's like their function? Is it just to make more? Is that kind of their my priority is to make more dragonflies? That's what they're programmed to do. Basically.
That's essentially what they do, and they're there to breed. But they also do still feed and eat in the adult form, and they're actually really voracious predators. They can just snag things out of the air, like snag other insects out of the air. And,
so they're very good for insect control and kind of like spiders and things. People are like, I hate spiders, but like they're kind of friendly.
They have a
towards
biting fly out there,
and they're
and the dragonflies will grab
that's
those.
That's lunch for them.
Mosquitoes, they'll grab those.
Wow.
Yeah, in and out of the water, because they'll get the mosquito larvae when they're
so
they
catch them young.
They attack
too.
The larvae.
Thank goodness for that, right?
Yeah, definitely. My friends out there doing field work. I don't want the mosquitoes and flies biting me, so it's good to have the dragonflies.
Yeah, your dragonflies, your buddies. Keep one on your shoulder. They'll keep you from getting bit. But one thing we want to do, and of course, we want to invite folks to come out, walk the trails, be a part of it, but realize that wildlife refuge, you are a guest. Stay on the trails. Don't meander off the trails. Because I know you don't think it's a big deal, but you're upsetting plant life, you're upsetting ecosystems by doing that. If you stay on the trails, obviously yourself and your staff and the volunteers that come out each week and all the time, they're doing these projects to keep so that the plant life that's supposed to be there stays there, the plant life that's not supposed to be there doesn't stay there, and then provide that home for the animals, whether it's seasonally or 365, You know, that's their place. So when you come there, you're coming to just learn and explore and enjoy nature's beauty. I mean, that's, you know, like I said, if you want to go out and cook out and picnic and all that, go to Bottomless Lakes. But if you want to come and walk the trails, get your bottled water, get your hiking boots, your stick, and kind of walk around the waters and walk around the different paths and trails and see the different life. And then even a little human history. I mean, there's a lot of Native American history out there as part of Bitter Lake as well, too. When you're at the visitor center there, you can read up on some of the hunting grounds for natives and how they did all the buffalo hunting. So there's as much human history information as there is natural nature out there, too. So if you love that kind of stuff, I make a weekend out there. Go out there and come out this weekend, or if you got a day off during the day, if there's daylight, it's pretty much open. If it's not daylight, make sure you're on the other side of the gate before they close it. That's about it there, you know.
Yeah.
Is there any events, any programs or anything we want to get on people's radar or maybe if they need a reason to come out and check it out? Here's a few.
Yeah, definitely. We have 2 events coming up in April. The first is just an event to kind of go over how to build like a butterfly birthing center. So just like how to like raise butterflies.
Okay.
And
that's kind of fun. My wife is an elementary school teacher, and one of their little projects they do every year is they raise butterflies. And so she goes online and gets the little kit that's got the little thing and catches it. And then, you know, of course, the kids are in the part of feeding. And then when they go from larvae to butterflies, they all go out and release the butterflies. And so it's a lot of fun to see that. So if you've never been a part of that or kind of curious on all that, this would be a great event to bring the whole family out. Obviously, the kids, showing them, you know, how these the habitats work and how, you know, the lifespan of the from this little worm looking thing to a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah, it's really cool to teach your kids about that. And
I've kind of just seen my wife's stuff, and because I wasn't in the lessons, but I'd go in on the weekends and watch the progress. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh, they're almost there's a couple butterflies.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Where's the butterflies? They're gone. Although unfortunately, this is where nature's nature. There's been years where she's had butterflies, and like she's had the kids out there. And they open the butterflies, and all the butterflies come out, and then some bird swoops in and eats one right as it goes away. That's nature. There's nothing to do about that.
The birds got to eat too.
That's a lesson the kids had to learn that day. It's like, well, there's a food chain.
That's going to be this Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah,
that is this Saturday.
Yep, at 10 a.m. And if you'd like to join, it's going to be at our auditorium in the visitor center. But we'd like for people to make reservations because it's limited. Our auditorium,
so many kits and things for everybody.
And our auditorium holds 50 people, so it'll be limited to the first 50 people. So if you'd like to join, please give a call to the 575-244-6256.
Okay. And if you're driving, don't have that. If you go to friendsofbitterlake.org or just type Bitter Lake Wildlife, you'll find the websites and you'll find the numbers, and you can RSVP that way.
Yeah.
There was also a notification on Facebook.
Very good. Yeah. Like and follow Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge on Facebook. That way you don't have to wait for these two to come on and tell you about it. Yeah. As soon as they post it up there, then it'll be there available. What time does that start this Saturday?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. And like you said, call that number, RSVP. Give that number out one more time if you don't mind, Carl.
It's 575-244-6256.
Very good. Just call that number and say, hey, I heard on the radio that they're having the butterfly event this Saturday. I'd like to reserve me and my 4 family members to come out and be a part of it. So that'd be great. Come out and do that. So that's this Saturday. What do we got later on this week or in the couple coming weeks here?
Yeah, so on April 22nd, we're having an Earth Day event. And so that's at 9 a.m. on April 22nd. And same deal, if you want to join us for that, give us a call to reserve.
Yeah.
But we'll be working on our butterfly trail there. We'll just be having some volunteers come out and do some maintenance there. So if you'd love
to be a part of and want to get involved that way, of course, while you're there, Don can tell you about Friends of Bitter Lake and becoming a member of that. That's kind of what friends do. Yeah. But if you want to come out and that's the thing I love it is the yes you have Carl and the Fish and Wildlife and the professionals that are kind of keeping eyes on things, but at the end of the day it's a community place. Those trails, when that bird blinds, and whenever there's those additions, it's volunteers, it's the friends that make it. It's through generous donations from folks like you that make these things happen. So, if you love and want to preserve and want to keep, so your grandkids go out to a Bitter Lake and see the same cool things you get to see. Come out, volunteer. Come out and work. Work the trails, or come out and become a friend. Become a friend of Bitter Lake, and even if you're like, well, I'm not good at digging trails and all that, but hey, I can volunteer in the store for a Saturday for a few hours, or I can help at an event to work a booth or take tickets or do something like that. All of that's helpful. So.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been updating the water system on that trail.
Yeah,
for the last 2 weeks now.
Oh yeah,
and 500 foot of pipe. Had to dig it up and replace the old pipe because it was too small, and get a bigger pipe in there.
Who said conservationists had to be plumbers too? Huh?
Yeah, I know.
Always surprised by the work that you end up doing.
Electricians, plumbers, carpenters, a little bit of everything.
I got to pull that out next week and do the electrical stuff for a new well pump.
But so, what Don's saying, anybody with electrical or plumbing experience, friends could use some expertise here.
Tell you what, if you can hold a shovel and dig a hole, we need you.
Sure, sure. And okay, there are perks to being a friend, because as a friend of Bitter Lake, you get to kind of get to see parts of the refuge and be a part of things that aren't generally open to the public, or are limited to public viewing and things. And the friends, you kind of get to, because you do conservation projects in that area. But like we were talking about some of the buffalo hunting areas and all that, a lot of that's not really public access, publicly accessible. But with the friends, you might be able to, if there's a project or something neat out there, you might get to do a little trip out there and see some of the sides of Bitter Lake that the public generally doesn't participate in, because, again, it's not for you, it's for nature.
That's right. That's right. That and history, because of the archaeology that's done.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm sure you get conservators or what some of the archaeologists. They probably from time to time are out there doing some research and exploring, and maybe they find a bone, or find not in this case a literal bone, but find a gem, to maybe an arrowhead or some of the artifacts from some of the Native Americans that were using these hunting grounds back hundreds of years ago here. So it's cool, and so friends, you gotta get to see a little bit. So if you like that side of things, there's your perk right there. As a friend, you get to kind of you get a little inside baseball on Bitter Lake a little bit, and of course, if for Don, like a guy like you gives you an excuse to get out and get outside and be in the grass, and if you're just looking for an excuse to be outdoors and out in the sun. Lots of opportunities for that too. That's
getting darker all the time.
We have to get Don some tank tops next time he's out there to work. This is leaving up that farming tan a little bit. But this Saturday, now again, for the event on the 22nd for Earth Day, do they need to RSVP for that as well, or can that be just
that would be nice.
Come and go. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, same way, call the number or go online and shoot a message, and someone will get back to you here.
Right.
By the way, I would imagine too, if there's service groups looking for projects, do you guys have any help for them? I know like scouts and things tend to do stuff out there. Is there if there's any other service organizations that are looking for some gigs, is there opportunities at Bitter Lake for them?
Yeah, we'd love to have more volunteers join us for various projects. We have more like habitat restoration projects and things like that. So get a hold of us. And
it's great for our youth. I know the scouting, they do a lot of service. I know in high school and stuff, some of your high school curriculum requires service-oriented things. So if you need that kind of stuff for your organization, give Carl or Don or someone over at Bitter Lake a call here, and maybe they can find some projects for you.
Yeah, definitely.
To
definitely some help.
Get you a little dirty.
We would love to have that. Yeah, I'm working on a couple of possible projects for some scouting groups.
Okay.
Coming up, the scout camp out there needs some work.
Okay.
And there's some things that the scouts can help with.
Okay.
Out on what we call Hunter Marsh. When they do their hunting, sometimes they either don't see it or just kind of forget to pick up their brass after they have fought.
I got you.
So we'd like to get our group out there and have them pick up some of that brass.
I know enough about scouting to know one of their mottos, other than be prepared, is always leave a place better than you found it. So that's very much in the heart and grain of, I know, scouting and organizations like that. So
and that's what we need down at Hunter Marsh, is to just walk through and pick up some stuff and clean up.
Good deal. So there's an opportunity right there, and that's just off the top of the head. We got a few more for you. Come on down.
I can come up some more here.
But here's the part too. I think, and this is where the gold is when you're out on these projects and things, you're seeing nature in its habitat. So you get to see things, and depending on the time of day you're out there working, like if you're working, because sometimes it gets hot in the summer, so you're like, I want to be out at 5, 6 in the morning when it's cool working. I hate animals also have that same mindset. They're busier when it's cool or when it's, and not in the busy or hot parts of the day. So mornings, evenings, that's generally the busier times for animal life out at the refuge. So, during the middle of the day, it's everyone's hunkered down, siesting or hanging out or trying to keep cool or just stay out of the way. But at dawn or at dusk there, that's when everyone starts stirring and thinking about food and thinking about things like that. And if you happen to be around, you get to see a lot of cool, just see what that bird did, see that fish.
Yeah.
That's you get to see all that is just being volunteering.
Yeah, definitely.
We do want to remind people, summer's coming on.
Okay.
And it's great to walk around out there, but do so consciously.
Yeah.
Because there are snakes coming out. We have already seen a couple of rattlesnakes up near the nature store. We watch for them, and then we move them to a less habitable place.
Gotcha.
Where they can do their hunting without interfering,
without getting near public.
Yeah, right.
Sure. But that being said, again, my scouting brain comes to me. If you're going out to Bitter Lake to hike around and things, prepare yourself a little bit. Make sure you have some water. Make sure you have good walking shoes and proper socks and things so you don't get blisters and all that. Sunscreen, insect repellent, those are good things to have because it does get sunny out there. You get burned. Maybe a good hat, wear loose clothing. Don't dress in layers. These maybe, when you're carrying your water, if you got one of those little mini first aid kits to bring along with you in case you do have a bump and grind, you can do some first aid until, and if it's serious, someone else can, at least you can do some first aid till someone gets to you.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's just little things like that. If you're mindful of that, now you don't have to bring the whole kitchen sink with you and bring. I know some people, they bring the kids, and next thing you got a stroller and 50 bottles and games, and you don't need all that. But some insect repellent, some sunscreen, water, maybe a little thing with to deal with some minor injuries, and that is just. Depending how far you plan on venturing out and things. But if you're going to really hit the trails and stuff, and you might get to a part where you might be by yourself for a couple hours if you get hurt, you might want to have a few things to keep you safely there. And I'm just curious, how's cell phone signal out there? Is it pretty dead around there? Or
it's pretty good.
So have you ever gotten an emergency situation stuck out there?
Anywhere the public's allowed, the cell phone signal's pretty good.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know.
I've never had any problems with my cell phone out there.
Okay, good. I was kind of wondering. It is out there in nature, and they don't want to see things like cell towers hanging out.
Yeah, but we're close enough to town that it's not too much of an issue.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to add to the fact that snakes are coming out and things like that. Just be careful when you're driving as well. There's a lot of reptiles and other species are starting to wake up, and we have a lot of box turtles, and
they like to sun on things.
Yeah, they like to hang out on the road sometimes, and I know snakes can be scary to some people, but they're a really important part of the ecosystem, and just this is their home, and just be careful when you're driving.
And to be honest, they will leave you alone if you don't mess with them.
Absolutely.
That's right. They're not looking for a fight. The moment that when they raise up, and that's all warning signs telling you just go away.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're fine. It's when you stand there and stare at him and wonder, "Whoa, look at he's mad."
Poke at him.
What are we going to do next? That's on you. If he's doing that.
Most of the people that get bit are messing with them, but you have to watch your step too. And but
the last thing you want to do is do that. They're just trying to protect themselves. So if you see that or come across or accidentally walk across and you see a mad snake, then they just back away and you'll be fine. He's not going to chase you. unless you start messing with it.
You're too big for a snake to eat. And if he has to use his venom to protect himself, then that venom may not be there when he goes to get his prey, his food.
He's saving that for his lunch. He's not saving it to protect himself.
Their venom's designed for eating. Like that actually helps them digest their food. It's not for defense, although they.
I mean, it's used that way.
But it's designed for.
There's a reason why snakes hide in things, and they don't make themselves public per se. They're not that type of animal. They're not the type of animal that's looking for a fight. They're looking for lunch. They're looking to be cool. They're looking to meet their needs. And if you get attacked by one, it's because you're interrupting one of those things.
Right.
And that's all it's about, And once you understand that, then you and nature can coexist out there a little bit, It's like, hey, and again, going back to the conversation we had before, you're the guest. This is their home. This is their territory. This is their place. You're the intruder. You're the visitor. You're the one that's foreign to that scenario. They're going to look at you that way, and that's what it is. And so if you put it from that mindset as, hey, I'm the bad guy in that world.
That's right.
Then and you walk according then, and you understand, and you can navigate pretty well. And then be mindful of that ecosystem out there. That's the thing, is we want to bring the kids and learn this stuff and learn, this is what these animals do. This is why they do it. This is why we don't do this. This is why we do this, and things like that. So that's what this is about. So
definitely.
So adults, learn those lessons that we're teaching the kids when we come out there too. It's very much. I'm not asking you to be the next wilderness survival person or anything like that. But when you're out in the nature, you're the visitor. Respect it and respect. You're the outsider looking in. You got to learn their ways. They don't have to adapt to you.
Definitely. And part of that, just take your time when you drive and keep your eyes out. Like see if you see any nature when you're doing it. Don't just drive real quickly through the refuge. Just follow the speed limit and keep your eyes out.
It's there for everyone to enjoy. So come and you can have a great weekend and spend no money just going out in nature trails and things, but bring a few bucks and help out, because every time you go out there and buy a book or buy a T-shirt or buy anything from that gift shop, all that goes back into these conservation projects and things like that. So please support that way too if you can. That's a great
we don't pay a tax on that because we're a 501c3.
Right.
And the money goes back to the refuge, one form or another. In some way, we don't pay people to maintain that nature.
They're volunteers.
They're volunteers.
And sometimes you get nice folks that literally they'll bring their RV out there and camp for the weekend just to man the booth, so to speak.
Yeah, well, they usually come out about 3 months at a time.
Yeah, and they just give of their time. They could be they're probably retired and could be gallivanting and seeing the world, but no, they're here visiting and because they have a passion for that place. And
they do that. That is their getting around their vacation time, you might say, is to go out and
pretty good one.
They go from all over the country.
I would imagine when they're not when the store's closed, they're probably like, hey, let's go take a nature walk. We're right here. And
they walk around. They enjoy the nature.
Watch the birds and
see the rest of the community. They come out and
get their alien on.
There you go. They're using this as an opportunity to see the rest of the area as well.
I love that. What a great idea. That's a great way, because now they're giving back and helping and supporting, but at the same time, they're living life and enjoying it and doing what they want to do.
That's right.
At the same time, providing a valuable service for folks here. That's what a great way to give back. That's awesome. I love that. That's what I hope. You know what? I hope more folks that are in that scenario do the same thing. Maybe some locals here. Go find your place somewhere else like that and do it for them, and come back and do it here when you're done.
We could even set up something for somebody locally. If they've retired, they're getting ready, they're going to sell their house and travel.
Okay.
Well, come out here, see what it's like. You live in your RV. You work on the refuge for usually 3 months stints. Some stay for 6 months, but usually about a 3-month stint.
Okay.
And then while you're there, you'll have access to where else can you go. And you can travel all over the country
Using that as your hub.
Yep. Well, and you can go to these other places and stay there for 3 months, and another place for 3 months, and you don't pay your utilities. That's provided.
That's the perk of being a volunteer here. It's like, hey, we'll make sure you can watch TV at night and flush your toilets.
Right. There you go. And you get fresh water. Yeah. That's it. So
that's pretty good.
It's a great life.
That's a great trade-off
for
me.
people that and our volunteers usually work 3 days a week. Can you imagine that? 3 days a week and all the expenses paid.
That's great.
Well, you have to buy your food, but I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
You can't forage there either. That's food for the
that wouldn't
Sorry,
work.
I'd be like, ooh, this
That wouldn't work too well.
leave it for the snake. Nothing for the bird. No, you can forage to McDonald's or wherever you go.
There you go.
Or the grocery store, and you can fire up your kitchen. We'll pay electricity for to fire up your stove here.
There you go. So that's a great way to go.
But again, reach out, and if you're interested, and talk with Carl here or Don or any of the folks, and
if you call the nature store and talk to Steve Alvarez.
Okay, Steve. Yeah, we've had Steve on a bunch of times.
Yep.
Steve,
he's the one that does all that coordination with the community.
Yeah,
including the RVers. So,
and he's probably the guy that usually lets you out if you get locked in at night too, right?
Actually, you can get out.
You can.
It's getting in after dark.
Gotcha. He won't let you in after dark.
No.
There's a whole reason for the gate.
Yeah. Unless you have the right tools.
Sure.
Yeah.
The key.
Yeah, the key.
Very good. Is there anything we missed, Carl or Don? Is there anything we wanted to mention or anything we got sidetracked on that we want to make sure we let the public know about?
I can't think of anything else.
Very good. What's give out the hours for the refuge and all the it's open 7 days a week.
The refuge itself is sunrise to sunset.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's kind of seasonal. So about the time. So usually. Now that we're in daylight savings time, so what, about 6 a.m. or so?
Yeah,
probably.
I think that's about right.
Till about 7 at night or so. Yeah.
Later on, it'll get up to about 8 or so.
Gotcha. Yeah, as we get farther into winter here.
The nature store is Monday through Saturday.
Okay.
They only close on Sundays, but Monday through Saturday, and they're open from 9 to 5.
Okay, so pretty much Monday, all day, 8-hour day, every day but Sunday.
Yep.
So come on by and do some shopping. Of course, if you want to ask questions about being a volunteer, or they'll put you in the right direction on that too.
Yep.
You're right there picking up stuff.
They will.
Very good. Well, thank you guys.
All right, thank you, Mike.
We'll see you next time. We'll see you next month, and don't forget, come out this Saturday. Come out this Saturday, and then again on the 22nd for Earth Day. Again, give out that phone number one more time, Carl.
It's 575-244-6256.
Very good. So come out and hang out with some butterflies this weekend, and then come out for Earth Day here on the 22nd.
Right.
Very good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Thank
it. We'll see you all next time.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll see Don like 4 more times in the next couple of days. So.
We got a lot going on here.
We do. We got another hat, but equally busy. So. All right, it is 8:53. Let's pause for local news. Quick commercial break. Your Wall Street update as well. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Authorities are not recommending any criminal charges for a woman who shot another man near Carlsbad earlier this month along National Parks Highway. 50-year-old Michael Strickland was shot and killed by what police said was a family member after a fight at the Carlsbad RV Park in the 4300 block of National Parks Highway. Carlsbad Police Lieutenant Andrew Swanson said they're investigating the case as a self-defense shooting. The county district attorney will have the final say on any potential criminal charges. Eddy County Manager Alan Davis has announced his retirement effective immediately. After serving 3 years as county manager, the county commissioners have actually known about the impending departure since late February. A list of potential replacements for Davis has not been released, and no timeline has been given as to having a replacement selected. Davis came to the county after being an operations superintendent for Chevron's Delaware Basin operations. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure moving into the Great Basin and across our area, so we'll be getting sunshine today, but very gusty wind, 50 to 55 miles per hour, and our afternoon high in the mid-80s. Watch out for some blowing dust across the roadways, mid-40s and very windy for the overnight hours and clear. And then Friday, it'll be another windy day. Our afternoon high about 70, sunshine and gusts up to 40. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Stocks rallied Wednesday as Wall Street shakes off more of the fear that dominated it earlier this month. A federal judge has ordered the U.S. government to resume oil and gas lease sales on federal lands in North Dakota. Hailing the ruling as a victory, North Dakota Attorney General Drew Wrigley said the canceled lease sales have cost North Dakota over $100 million in revenue each year and deprived the nation of much-needed access to oil and gas during these difficult times of high inflation and threats to energy security. Manufacturers of everything from pickup trucks to homes are still grappling with tight supplies of microchips and cement, shortages that could translate into delays and higher costs for federal efforts to arm Ukraine against Russian aggression and rebuild U.S. crumbling infrastructure and manufacturing. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Hey, Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Trustmark is one of the only roofing companies that's also a licensed commercial and residential general contractor.
Wow.
I know, who cares, right? Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems underneath. So if your roof needs reframing or your chimney needs a water-diverting cricket, you may need to call a licensed general contractor. And coordinating two companies for your roofing job can get costly and messy fast. As a licensed roofer and general contractor, Trustmark can install a stunning new roof on your home and handle structural issues. This saves you time, money, hassle, and even makes it easier to file an insurance claim. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit us at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Have you ever felt like your life was just a pile of rubble? Maybe you're there now. There are many stories throughout the Bible of God coming to people in the midst of the rubble of their lives and rescuing them out of it. God rescued His chosen people, the Israelites, out of the rubble of their own rebellion, both literally and figuratively, over and over again when they called out to Him. Jesus often comes into contact with people at their worst and shows them love and grace. He even tells the parable of the prodigal son who leaves his family, taking his inheritance with him, basically turning his back on his father. The son throws his money away partying, but he knows in his heart that his father will take him back. As he attempts to beg for forgiveness and asks to be a slave, his father runs to him, accepts him with open arms, and has a celebration for his return. God offers each and every one of us the same thing. He offers us freedom from the slavery of our sin and from the rubble of our life. No matter what mess you find yourself in, God can rescue you.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:58, closing in on the top of the hour. Stay tuned. Next hour, we're going to replay interview Peggy Boland, talking camp convention, joined us earlier this week. We're going to play that for you next hour. Hey, if you have a high school senior within the sound of my voice, don't forget Eastern New Mexico University Roswell is hosting their senior day at ENMU Roswell. It's going to be happening next Thursday, April 6th. That's 1 week from today, right? Yeah, that's right. April 6th, 9:30 to 12:30. And
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, I think it's next week. And this is a chance for high school seniors that you register with your high school guidance counselor. Go see them and tell them you want to go to senior day for ENMUR. And there'll be buses from all the high schools in Chaves County heading to ENMUR, and they'll do a full tour and show them the campus, and they can register, and they can win. I think they're giving away a laptop computer and some other cool prizes, door prizes to the students that participate. So yeah, you do get some swag or potential to get some swag. It's free, and it's a chance for these high school seniors to learn all about ENMUR. But again, parents listening, tell your kids, sign up to their high school counselors, and be prepared to go next Thursday, April 6th. All right, it is 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason.
Today is a tough and a tragic day for Kentucky, for the Fort Campbell, and for the 101st.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear on last night's crash of 2 Army Black Hawk helicopters in southwestern Kentucky.
The 9 individuals we lost are children of God. They will be mourned and missed by their families, by their communities.
All 9 of those who died were service members. They were on board the aircraft. The helicopters from the 101st Airborne Division crashed in a field during a training mission. It's dangerous to be an American journalist in Russia these days. A Wall Street Journal reporter arrested, being held on spy charges.
The Federal Security Service, the top KGB successor agency, says Evan Gershkovich was detained in the Ural Mountain city of Yekaterinburg while allegedly trying to obtain classified information. The Security Service alleged that Gershkovich was collecting classified information about the activities of one of the enterprises of the Russian military-industrial complex. Gershkovich could face up to 20 years in prison if convicted of espionage.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Well, the arrival of spring did not bring an end to the series of powerful storms that swept the country over the winter months.
Meteorologists are warning of a series of severe storms that could rip across America's Midwest and South over the next couple of weeks, with the first and perhaps most dangerous outbreak forecast to strike Friday. They expect tornadoes and damaging winds in a barrage of 3 or 4 bursts of storms through mid-April. The Weather Service says more than 66 million people are at risk for tornadoes and damaging winds Friday.
Correspondent Keith Peters. Wall Street, the Dow is up 82 points, the NASDAQ 94 points higher, and the S&P is up 21. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
4 bankers who allowed a friend of Vladimir Putin to deposit huge sums in Swiss banks have been found guilty of violating Swiss law through a lack of due diligence.
The judge in the Zurich court said it was beyond doubt that Russian musician Sergei Roldugin was not the true owner of the money he deposited. The 4 bankers who opened the accounts should have asked questions. They failed to do this and have been found guilty of violating Switzerland's due diligence laws. This case has big implications. If the money wasn't Sergei Roldugin's, whose was it? He is a known close friend of Vladimir Putin's. The Russian president, now under Western sanctions, is rumoured to have vast wealth, some of it invested abroad.
The BBC's Imogene Folks. Thai authorities using helicopters trying to contain a fire that overnight engulfed 2 mountains northeast of the capital, Bangkok. News and analysis at townhall.com. A bipartisan group of senators promoting a bill that's aimed at holding bank executives financially accountable in the event of a bank failure.
Democratic Senators Elizabeth Warren and Catherine Cortez Masto teamed up with Republican Senators Josh Hawley and Mike Braun to introduce the bill Wednesday that would allow the FDIC to recoup up to 5 years' worth of compensation from executives at any bank that requires a federal takeover. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Twitter says it has removed tweets showing a poster promoting a so-called Trans Day of Vengeance protest in Washington, D.C. this coming Saturday. Ella Irwin, Twitter's head of trust and safety, says the company automatically removed more than 5,000 tweets and retweets of a poster that was promoting the event. Once again, on Wall Street this hour, stocks are in positive territory, with the Dow up 86 points and the S&P 23 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy miracles
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. That's the alien with the head issue, too.
No, this is?
Yeah.
You sure?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's the one with the head issue.
It's just top sticked on there.
Yeah. Thanks to a Jeff Bilberry toothpick, his head is now...
right there? Oh, that's a Jeff Bilberry.
All right, run for my Jeff Bilberry toothpick. Still got it.
Love it.
I got 3 toothpicks left, too. Nope, I'm down to 2. Yep, we are able to surgically repair that.
How to make it stretch. I like it.
Someone got a little too stressed out on that one.
Yep, happens sometimes.
I think that was your boy, didn't it? Didn't
No,
Hunter?
yeah, you're right. You're actually right. Might have been Hunter.
I think Hunter was in here like on a weekend playing.
It's always my boys. It's either Longo or Hunter.
In all fairness,
always destroying your stress balls.
Well, in all fairness, a lot of my stuff looks like toys.
In fairness, a lot of your stuff is toys. Okay, Mike?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can't blame the kid. The kid's just doing what you're supposed to do with them.
It's one of those things where it's like, I have to tell my 4-year-old, no, you can't play with those. Those are daddy's action figures.
Right. You can't get mad. You're like, wait, you can't play with that toy. What's the toy for? To play with. Wait, what? Never mind. Don't touch it.
That's for display purposes only. Nobody wants the floor model.
When you're 37, I'll show you these.
Okay. Someday I'll pass these worthless, taken out of the box toys on to you.
You know why we do that? I can tell you why. Because we played with all these toys as a kid, and we destroyed every one of them, and now we all think we're going to be millionaires, and we just kept that stuff. And none of us are, but we all think we were. Man, if I had my toys when we were a kid, I'd be a millionaire today. None of us would be.
Right.
We'd have $1,000 extra. Maybe, if you took care of it.
If you lucked out.
Unless you had like the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier or something, then you can get like 10 grand for that.
Right.
But short of it, you're not. The toys you broke when you were a kid weren't going to make you millionaires.
And I argue you probably got more good use out of it because time is more valuable than money. You probably got more good use out of it playing with it than you would have just having a box toy. Those kids are serial killers, generally speaking. I'm not trying to cast a net necessarily, but
here's the net.
But the people that keep their stuff new in box mint, I feel like those people have something wrong up here.
Yeah.
Like something just went... And they're just like...
There is a mental health
new
thing
inbox.
there going on. I mean...
Their names, it's like... Their names like Robert. Like, not Rob, Robert.
But who are we to judge their idiocy with our own idiocy?
Sure.
It's like we're all idiots. We just have our own thing we're idiots about.
Right.
That just happens to be theirs.
Sure.
And so I'm kind of like, but yeah, when we talk...
Some people keep toys new in box. Some people keep urine in mason jars. It's one of those weird things. Everybody has their thing.
There's so many more uses for a mason jar, by the way.
They're incredibly versatile. Why did that bring Roy in? He wants to. Okay.
I don't want to know. I'm going to leave that.
I kind of don't. I've seen enough of the internet, Roy.
You can put stuff in them.
Yes, you can. You can.
I like drinking out of mason jars.
It's fun.
Like I remember there was a restaurant growing up when I was a teenager, and it was a family restaurant. Matter of fact, I worked there for a month or two during the summer as a high school kid. And it was, it was your family like Applebee's or anything, but this one was called Po Folks. It was, and in P-O space F-O-L-K-S. Po Folks. So yeah, there was probably a tilde or something in there. But, and they served basically food that you eat every day in Texas. Chicken fried steak. Chicken fried something or another.
Just fried.
Big batch of fried. They had a lot of that, but... it was like a poor man's Cracker Barrel, but more fried.
Right.
And and they had, but they served their beverages in these mason jars, which I washed a lot of them. I was a dishwasher busboy there for a summer, and but I loved drinking out of those. As a younger kid, before I worked there, I wanted to go there just to drink out the jar. I didn't care about the fried. I just wanted to drink out of a jar.
Was it the jar with the handle, or was it just the jar?
Just the jar. They were sans handle.
Okay.
Yeah, these are handleless jars.
The ones that they're like the jelly jars. Those are cool too. But I emceed a wedding one time. This is years ago, and at the reception afterwards, the drinks were served in mason jars on top of like candle holders.
Okay.
They were like melded together.
Kind of like those solo cup wine glasses you see.
It was like, but they were mason jar goblets or wine glasses. It was really cool.
I love redneck chic.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yep.
That's kind of
there's a name for it. And I was just told it the other day. It's cottagecore, I think.
I like redneck chic better.
Yeah, it's cottagecore. It's basically that cottage but hardcore cottage look.
No. I want Martha Stewart to do a show about it, and she uses redneck chic the whole time.
Redneck chic. I like it.
Here's a meal that would go perfect for your redneck chic party.
It's a good thing.
I bought an AEW mug. I mean, ANW mug.
Oh, like
the root beer.
The root beer mug. Yeah.
Proud of you.
And I kind of regret it.
Why?
Because the thing is so heavy on its own.
It's like it's like a Stein.
It's like mostly glass and like less liquid.
Well, you know what? They make it thick like that so you can put it in the freezer and get like frosty. Yeah,
you get a frosty
get it wet,
mug.
You get a little wet, and then you put it in the freezer and frost it.
That's how you're supposed to enjoy your A&W.
Okay.
That's why they make that glass so thick so it holds
It's a functional A&W glass. It also serves for beer, but you're not. You stick to root beer. You don't play with that. I don't want to see you.
I don't know if they allow that on campus anyways.
I don't want to see you drunk. That's dangerous.
I kind of do.
Stick to the root beer.
But no, that's why they make it that thick glass is so that you can put it in your freezer and get it frosted.
Yeah.
It's a neat. I mean, I always loved doing that growing up. That's awesome.
Yeah. Here's the thing people go make mad. I grew up on Hires. I had Hires root beer, not A&W.
Yeah, it's like, there was always the A&W crowd and the Barks crowd.
Yeah, there was the Barks.
Was mine growing up.
I was Hires.
We were very much a Barks family.
Yeah.
Because Barks has bite.
Yeah. What? There was there was another root beer thing that was very niche at the time that was popular.
Mug?
Maybe?
Yeah, well, Mug is Pepsi's.
Is it?
Mug
no, but there
beer?
was one more niche than Mug. It was like IBC.
Oh, IBC. Oh, yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the one that came in the glass bottles.
Yeah.
Which I dug. Which it was like, it's a step above, but it's root beer. I mean,
it's for kids who pretend they're drinking beer.
Now, granted, I will say this: IBC did the sarsaparilla, so you could actually get the different kind of the root beer, with IBC.
I'm a mug enjoyer.
Mug root beer?
Oh, you like mug root beer?
Mug root beer.
Hires.
The caffeine-free stuff.
I don't know if you can get Hires anymore.
Hires is like 7-Up. It's like one of those off brands.
I like
a Schweppes
That's what I grew
brand.
up on was Hires. Had a lot of Hires.
See, we had Knee High.
Yeah, I had Knee High too.
We had Knee High.
I had Knee High as well.
Peach Knee High was legitimately like one of the best sodas ever made.
Part of my problem was when I was in Boy Scouts, we used to do our meetings at this Elks Lodge, and right next door was this old decrepit liquor store called Dean's Little Store. And I'd save my lunch money after every meeting, and then I'd go over to Dean's liquor store and pick up my Hires root beer and my Great King High.
And my little Donald Duck juices.
And they had a bevy of Donald Duck orange juices. And you know what the other thing they had that I loved, but I shouldn't have got because was Hershey's made ice cream in these 1 quart, but they made them in the cardboard box, like the old cardboard boxes,
yeah.
but it was 1 pint. And it was Hershey's. And it was only Hershey's they sold.
Right.
And it probably is delicious, but they had an old freezer, and I think it froze and refroze 10 times, so you freezer burned Hershey's.
Oh, yeah.
But it was in that stupid little box that had no protection from freezer burn. And so I grew up on Donald Duck orange juice, Hires root beer, and crappy Hershey's ice cream.
That's amazing. You were raised,
and Andy Cap hot fries.
You were raised like the child of a single alcoholic dad.
Yeah.
And those ice pops too that slide out of the little carton.
So many pork rinds. I ate the thing in the jar once. I've done all of that.
Here's $2 in quarters, son. Go play. Daddy, he'll be over here drinking.
That gelatinous, gross jar of pickled pig's feet that sat up on the counter. Yeah. Been there, done that.
Pickled eggs with no discernible set of tongs anywhere to be seen.
I had a guy that had loved pickled eggs so much he ordered his own barrel of those pickled eggs.
Oh my
Like I worked
God,
at a gas station when I was 16 for a summer. I did a lot of things. And he was so into those. He ordered himself a whole barrel. It was like one of those like Utz barrels you see at the store with the cheese balls filled with that red liquid and those eggs.
I'm wondering now if you can pickle a soft boiled egg.
Ugh.
Like, you know how you get the egg with the kind of the yolk, the runny yolk? I wonder if you could pickle that.
What kind of evilness are you doing in that kitchen?
I don't know, but I'm curious how that would turn out.
Oh, you know, there's someone listening to this conversation like, oh, that's delicious. Love it. Oh, man, that's my favorite.
Gelatinous.
Yeah, right.
Oh, well, yeah. Nothing was grosser when you saw the pickled pig's feet and
terrible.
And the liquid started to congeal on the top there a little bit. Yeah.
And then they don't even eat it.
That's some good eating right there.
They just let it lie there for years.
Oh yeah. That stuff was a science project.
Who is that for? Like, I will never understand that. Who is a pickled pig's foot for?
It's for the guy when they say, "We not selling you liquor. You got to eat something." You reach in there and eat one of them things. All right, give me my fifth of Nottinghead.
Like, I come from a place where literally one of our favorite food as a people, one of our favorite foods is cracking the head off something and sucking its guts out. We love crawdads, but that to me, the pickled pig's foot, seems like a step too far.
It is.
Pardon the pun.
It is.
Well, because you're buying something and not eating it.
It's the foot of swine for one thing.
Yeah.
And then you pickle it in this devil's cocktail of nastiness. And but some people some people raised on that. That's what they love, and they'll eat it till the day they die.
Have you had those eggs that have been pickled in Coca-Cola?
No. What?
People
can do that?
People like to do that. Like 10 years ago, they would put boiled eggs and
right.
Or no, not boiled eggs, real eggs, and pickle them in Coca-Cola, and then they get like boiled eggs with.
So they put a raw egg in Coca-Cola and pickle it?
Yeah. Well, they put like the whole egg.
Okay.
In there.
Boiled or unboiled?
Unboiled.
A raw egg, like right out the carton, straight into the brine of.
But
Coke.
it comes out hard boiled?
I think so. Or maybe it is hard boiled when they put it in. I don't remember, but it comes out hard boiled, and
that stuff does eat the battery acid off of cables and stuff.
The shell is gone. It eats the shell.
I want to try this now just to see if it'll work.
The shell dissolves away, and you're basically left with a brown hard boiled egg.
Sounds like someone's going on a YouTube video search.
Well, this was years ago. Like this.
I think I'm moving on. I'm officially getting grossed out now.
Yeah, it's time.
Well, then I've done my job.
Move along. I am out.
Well, then, mission accomplished.
I'm out.
Good luck, everyone.
That's right. Let me give you the rundown of this hour. Speaking of weird foods, Camp Invention. We're going to be talking. You want to talk about creating things? No, joking, of course. Peggy Bolin joined us earlier in the week talking Camp Invention. Today is the deadline to save $25 off your fee. So we're going to play that interview here in just a few to get you up to date on that. I just got images of pickled things dancing in my head. Ugh. All right, it is 19 minutes after 9. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure moving into the Great Basin and across our area, so we'll be getting sunshine today, but very gusty wind, 50 to 55 miles per hour, and our afternoon high in the mid-80s. Watch out for some blowing dust across the roadways, mid-40s and very windy for the overnight hours and clear. And then Friday, it'll be another windy day. Our afternoon high about 70, sunshine, and gusts up to 40. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 52 degrees. Fair and breezy here in Roswell. Humidity is at 66%. Winds currently out of the south at 22 miles per hour. We have wind advisory taking effect at 11 today through 8 p.m. We also have a red flag warning kicking in at 11 today, remaining in effect through 7 p.m. this evening. Expect areas of blowing dust for this afternoon. Sunny, though, and 83. That's the good news. Windy. This morning, southwest winds 10 to 20. Later today, increasing 25 to 35, gusting as high as 50 miles per hour. Areas of blowing dust for tonight, mainly before 9 p.m., otherwise clear skies with an overnight low of 42 degrees. Winds will be up out of the southwest, 25 to 35, gusting as high as 50 miles per hour. They'll drop down 15 to 25 after midnight. Areas of blowing dust for Friday as well, before mainly after 9 a.m. Sunny, 72 for a high tomorrow. Winds will be blowing again out of the west. 15 to 20 early, gusting, increasing 25 to 30, gusting as high as 40 by Friday afternoon. Tomorrow night, mostly clear and an overnight low of 35 degrees. West winds 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. And then for your weekend, sunny and 76 on Saturday. North winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. And then sunny and 83 on Sunday. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick 3-minute commercial break, and then we'll play our interview with Peggy Boland talking camp invention. Don't go away.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else, or the frost might kill them. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county, or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice, and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
Have you ever felt like your life was just a pile of rubble? Maybe you're there now. There are many stories throughout the Bible of God coming to people in the midst of the rubble of their lives and rescuing them out of it. God rescued his chosen people, the Israelites, out of the rubble of their own rebellion, both literally and figuratively, over and over again when they called out to him. Jesus often comes into contact with people at their worst and shows them love and grace. He even tells the parable of the prodigal son who leaves his family, taking his inheritance with him, basically turning his back on his father. The son throws his money away partying, but he knows in his heart that his father will take him back. As he attempts to beg for forgiveness and asks to be a slave, his father runs to him, accepts him with open arms, and has a celebration for his return. God offers each and every one of us the same thing. He offers us freedom from the slavery of our sin and from the rubble of our life. No matter what mess you find yourself in, God can rescue you.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. There's just one place where a team is more than a group of individual agendas. It's a catalyst for demonstrating the potential of the collaborative spirit. There's just one place where players, coaches, and fans experience the exhilaration that happens when an entire community rallies behind the school team. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. In addition, high school sports help young people in New Mexico develop the discipline and confidence they need to be leaders in life, even as they unite communities like nothing else. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
You know, I grew up hearing that women are bad with money, but like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So, turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now, I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 24 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning to talk some camp invention, Peggy Boland back with us. Good morning, Peggy.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Not bad. Not bad.
It's
been a crazy time.
It is. We're almost in April. I mean, we're a couple days away from April, which means, to believe it or not, we're not that far away from Camp Invention.
I know. It is insane.
Yeah, it's early June, 5th through the 9th.
5th through the 9th.
Yeah, and so it's that first weekend of June, and if you're not familiar with Camp Invention, Peggy's been doing this for years
15 years.
15 years, and it is an amazing week-long camp. It's actually created by the Inventors, the
National Inventors Hall of Fame.
National Inventors Hall of Fame. It's like, are they the folks that used to do back in the day the commercials for like the caveman with the wheel, and they would be like, have an idea for it?
No.
I remember watching back in the day those commercials, and they had like it was like an animated caveman inventing the wheel. It's like, got an invention to get out to the public. I wonder if the National Invention Hall of Fame is associated with that thing. I have no idea if they're not, but same concept, basically. And so they have this camp that's Camp Invention's a national camp. There's camp inventions all over the United States.
Yep.
Thanks to Peggy, we've had one here in Roswell for the last 15 years. And it is a week-long STEM camp for elementary-age kids. And they work basically on these 3 or 4 different projects each throughout the week. And
right, four
they call them like modules or whatever. But each of them focus on different STEM aspects. Some will focus on some of and actually we get a little into STEAM this year. With,
yes, we do. We get more into STEAM.
So
this
we add
year.
the A to it. But so each activity start. Depending on the project, it might be talking a little bit about engineering and mechanics. It could be more about space and some of that stuff. It could be more about earth science and human nature and animal science and biology, that type of stuff. So it kind of runs the gamut a little bit with each project. But no matter how old you're, so if your kid's a kindergartner or a kid's a 5th grader, they still do the same projects, but they learn it at a kindergartner level if they're kindergartners, and then at a 4th or 5th grade level if they're an older elementary school. So all the kids do the same thing, but depending on their age and education level, they get the customized version of that. So when they come back next year, there'll be all new projects, but they also learn new concepts in a little bit more mature fashion as they too mature and get a little older here.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a great camp. But here's the deal: we got a deadline coming up
yes,
here in a few days, so we want to get on people's radar. If you want to save $25 on the camp cost, there's a deadline coming up here March 30th, which, like we just said, April is later this week.
Thursday.
so coming up here in just a few short days. If you want to sign up for Camp Invention and save an extra $25, you need to do it here before the 30th. So that's
by the 30th.
By the 30th, by the end of day on the 30th here. So and of course now if you're still on the fence about it, no problem. There'll be a discount after. It's not as big a discount.
$15.
Yeah, it's a $15. And then of course, if you're thinking I'd love to do this, but I still can't afford it, Peggy's got partial scholarships, and we'll tell you here a little bit how to do that. But if you're thinking I want to send my kid to camp, but I can't afford the fee, which is a total cost of
$275.
$275. So if you can't afford that, which I get it, especially if you got 3-4 kids. Which,
right.
By the way, that's next thing you know, you're spending $1,000 to send your kids to camp for a week. I get it. That's a lot of money.
Right, that is.
But some of these discount codes will help. These partial scholarships, if you need that, you'll reach out to Peggy directly here. They also offer a group discount, too.
Right.
And that's going to be good up until camp or up until you register.
So if you have 2 siblings or 3 or more, there's additional money off.
So you could save $30 when you use the code for 2 siblings. So if you have 2 children, and then you can save $40 if you've got 3 kids you'd like to sign up.
Right, $40 per child, which that helps. I mean, especially if somebody can afford it for the most part.
Exactly.
But just wants a little break.
Yeah.
And that's, 3 siblings.
It's like,
or
I
three
can
children.
afford the full price, but it's going to hurt a little bit. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
But you save $120 if you have 3 kids.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's and here's the thing. This isn't you taking your kid to be entertained for a week.
Right.
You're investing that money back in your kid's future because it's a fun camp. They're going to run around, scream, and have fun, and be tired by the end of the day.
Yeah, he's very tired.
But all the things they're learning and are setting the table for whatever these, the thing they do this week at camp may be the thing that decides what they do for the rest of their lives of adults. They may, you talk about your own kids. How many,
right.
They're all science. A lot of they do science-based things. And
both of them.
A lot of that interest started by being campers at Camp Invention. That's and so that's really what this camp. Yes, they do, but they get to see why math and science and all that is really cool and fun. And once you expose that to them, next thing you know, you got these kids are gonna, of course, right? If they're really young, at first they're gonna be, I want to be a robot builder or something like that right now. But that involves it into whatever they, as they mature and get older, and next thing you know, they're the ones being the head engineer at one of these companies in town, or they're in Los Alamos doing something crazy. That's it. All starts at camps like this. So sign your kids up. It's a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what they're going to be doing that week. About some of the fun activities.
So one of the activities is called Mimic Bot. And I'm going to read right from here because this is a great flyer. If you see this around town, the students have received 2 of these already. Parents,
okay.
Your children have received 2 of these already
they go
in
to
the schools.
To the public schools here.
They went to the public schools, the private schools. If you have not seen these flyers, they're probably deep down in the bottom of the backpack.
In the backpack, yeah, next to that old sandwich.
Right, exactly. So you might want to ask them about this. There's going to be more flyers going out, but it's going to have the $15 code on it. But anyway, so the Mimic Bot, campers transform their own robot.
You can name it Robert if you want.
You could, into a one-of-a-kind stuffy, and then take their creation home to inspire more original ideas. Wow, I cannot speak today. Wow. This is the Mimic Bot.
Okay, so that's the bare bones start.
This is the bare bones.
And they take it
has
from
arms.
Here and give it a personality and give it a character and give it
some fur.
Good deal.
They can do whatever they want with this fur. It has googly eyes.
All right.
There's markers that the children can use.
Cool. So they can get creative as they want with it.
They can get creative. That's right. That's the whole thing. And they get to know the innards. The head comes off so they can understand springs.
Sure.
This whole thing is a cool invention.
They're learning basic engineering and those skill sets, learning about why cogs and things move and why these are shaped this way and why this part moves to beget this operation. And it's what I kind of compare this thing to is a more advanced version of the old game Mousetrap. When we were kids, remember the game Mousetrap? And, that game was just a fancy, fun board game. But at the end of the day, it's teaching you STEM. It's teaching you the process of assembly line and the whole, you know what I mean? And this robot, to me, is almost like a more modern, cooler, advanced version of Mousetrap a little bit. Where, it's a fun little toy, but the kids are learning the basics of how these toys move and operate.
Right. And, they can put their heads any way this was so fun. The one thing it does do, though, it does... I'll turn it on so we can see.
Yeah.
At first, you don't think anything's going to happen.
Yeah, it's got enough things where your parents will be good and annoyed by it. But that's kids, man. You gotta have every kid's got to at least have 3 or 4 toys that annoy the nightmare out of parents.
Right. And off the table. But it is fun, and what's great about this is there are batteries that can be removed.
Okay.
And there is an on-off switch.
So when you say, "Oh, sorry, we're out of batteries," maybe next time we go to the store.
So I can see it as a cool reward.
Absolutely.
At home.
Sure.
But I can also see it where the kids are truly enjoying this little Mimic Bot.
Yeah. And it's okay if you see it in creases on the floor because they're kind of learning and playing with it. So
right.
That's part of the fun. So
Right. So, like I said, this is one of the 4 activities.
Yes, we're 1/4 of the way there.
Right. Another activity is called catching air.
Okay.
When they design their own mini skate park, campers take on ramps and rails in an epic ride through physics, engineering, and art. So that one's really cool because you get a little skateboard, and then they, make ramps and the whole thing.
It's kind of weird. I remember when I was a kid, and this was 80s, and there were some of my friends were into skateboarding and that kind of thing. And this was before they had the little toy skateboards. And so I knew guys that basically did exactly what this is and built like little model skate parks. They built their own little things. Now in the 90s, all of a sudden, all these became toys. But I remember guys were literally out of cardboard and paper towel tubes and taking little, like matchbox car wheels and then putting them on these little cardboard. And they were making this stuff. And they designed their own little, I swear. So when I see it now, I'm like, man, that was kids goofing off back when I was like in 5th grade or 4th grade or something. And so now to see that they're saying, hey, no, we're using this to teach kids, some physics, some of that stuff, some more engineering. More science here. And I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And again, there's art in that one as well. This one is designing. This one, right.
Sure, skating. They get to kind of make their own art and graphics and things. Yeah, exactly.
I know. Another one's called Pop-Up Venture. To create their own pop-up shop, campers use green energy and awesome entrepreneurship skills.
Nice.
So they learn about business.
So a little bit outside the STEM kind of thing, going into business management.
The money.
Sure.
And math.
Math, that's true. Yeah, math and money.
They have to understand,
But this one's even a little more life skills because,
Exactly.
Regardless, even if you don't want one iota of science or math, math, it's there. But science and things, you're not into chemicals and all that. I don't care. It would be very good to know how to manage a business, manage money, that translates. It's because if you're going to live as a human being at some point the rest of your life, which that's the goal, you're going to have to learn how to, pay for your food and your house and your, those kinds of things. So teaching that type of responsibility, especially when parents aren't always equipped with that information,
right.
And it's not to blame. It's just, if your parents didn't teach you, you don't know. And we have a bit of that when it comes to finances and stuff. We use some big words in finances and people get scared all of a sudden. And it's like, all right, let me break it down. It's actually quite simple once you get it. And so this kind of sets the table for them to have an understanding of that, at least, when they do get older, they get a concept of, planning and preparing and doing things properly with money other than hand it to me and I go buy things with it. You know what I mean? And so it does teach that on top of, the other science side of it, but this one's got a little life skill hidden in it too,
right.
On the surface, which I like. So.
Right. If you think of the lemonade stand, if you think of, and there are some kids, my gosh, they have some really creative ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Where they could
we lose
market
our creativity.
them. Yeah, they can market them and they could, with this, they might, this might be like the stepping stone they need in order to make a little side money.
Next thing you know, where the next food or gadget that we need to have started because they did this pop-up venture in a camp invention.
That'd be cool. Give me the credit. It's because of Peggy Bowen.
There you go. Or just a check. She'll take that.
There you go. And the last one sounds like a lot of fun.
Make her a shareholder. Like give her some stock options. That'll be good.
Invention celebration. The campers become confident event planners.
Okay.
As they set the mood and with lights, music, and an inventive party assistant.
Don't tell New Mexico Military Institute, but you're teaching leadership skills right there.
Yeah.
I know they got the market on that, but that's going to be some of that in there because anybody that's planned any kind of event knows that you need people to do it. And you may not be the best organizer of, best plate picker or best food picker, but if you pick the right people and plan and organize them and move them according, that's leadership 101 right there. That's teaching how leadership. And by the way, it's always nice to figure out how to be a party planner. So when you do have, even if it's birthday parties for your kids or whatever, you don't have to go all crazy, but at least you can plan something so it's fun instead of a hot mess.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, this is leadership 101. This is kids and personalities, and this is as much science in there. This is much life skills as I would even go so farther in saying more so on the pop-up adventure, because at the end of the day, you're teaching people how to get a group of people to do one thing together. I mean, when it comes to event planning, that you break it down to bare bones. That's kind of what you're doing is getting a group of people all on the same page to execute and perform a task.
Right.
In this case, it's to make sure this event happens. So you're teaching. So even if they don't want to plan an event ever, the skills they're learning will translate into any leadership-based thing, whether they go on to the military or go be a sports coach at a high school or whatever they decide to do. That leadership skill is going to come in handy. And it all started because they learned to plan events at a little fun camp convention thing. So that's cool. I love that they kind of incorporate everyday life stuff.
Yes.
Into and that's what makes it so great, because science can be intimidating. I'm not the most proficient person at science and math, because I just, as a kid, wasn't geared that way. My brain, I mean, there's a reason I'm in talk radio and not doing science. I was more into English and things than I was into in history than I was into math and science. But I blame that on the fact that I wasn't presented it in a way. To me, it was just numbers, learn this and do it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like if someone said, see that robot over there, or see that cool fighter, that's all science and math, and this is why. And I think if someone explained it to me that way, I think I would have embraced it more instead of kind of looked at it like, well, that's just not something I'm into. Which, at the end of the day, I actually am. If you, I'm not into learning formulas, but I love cool robots, and you know what I mean? It wasn't presented to me that way, and I think that's why Camp Invention's so cool. It's when, take these things that, if you teach it to them in a certain way, is going to make them avoid it like the plague and think it's some kind of voodoo. And sure, we all like the conveniences, but it's like, I don't want to understand why it does that. It's too much to wrap my head around, but this way presents it into, no, let's be curious. Let's find out.
Right.
Why is that orange? I don't know. Let's cut it open and find out. It's basically taking the concept of science and bringing it to that level and saying, let's explore. Let's do things. This is how we push the envelope to the next thing. You want to find out what your ancestors or what your future generations are going to do. It's stuff you're learning here that's going to set the table for that next generation. And that's science and math right there.
Exactly.
So talk about this with your children. If you're trying to get them involved and saying, hey, my kids need to be exposed to some of this stuff, sign them up. I guarantee, even at first they're like, I don't know, I want to just stay at home and watch, play games all day or whatever I want to do. It's like, now you come, and then that's the beauty.
It's a week.
It's a week long. It's 9 to 3:30. It's not
day camp.
Yeah, it's not they're not gone away, so they come home at night. So you don't have to worry about homesickness and some of the things you worry about with some of the sleepaway camps. And they come home every day. They're going to be excited. They're going to be telling you about all the things they did at camp. It's a fun-filled, action-packed day. Now, good news is, like we said, 9 to 3 is the camp. 3:30 is the camp time.
Yes.
However, if those hours are a bit short for you, there is an extended camp option for folks. And it actually starts a couple hours early, and then goes a little after. It's not part of the normal camp. You're not missing anything if you don't do it. But for those that choose to do it, they get extra activities and things that they'll work on in that hours before the camp and then the hours after. That way, if you've got to be to work or I don't get off work until 4:30, I can swing, that way you don't have a child in limbo for an hour somewhere.
Exactly.
And so that's an option. It does cost an additional fee. I think it's $75 or $100.
$100. But it's 7:30 to 5:30.
And you also, exactly. You're getting another 4 hours of camp a day pretty much with it. So, and by the way, if you don't have to use the whole 4 hours. If it's like, well, I get off at 4, great. Well, we'll pick them up at 4.
Definitely.
And you can drop them off at 8 o'clock or 7:30 as opposed to 9 or 9:30 here. So definitely.
Yeah, it's flexible. Those extended hours are flexible. Friday afternoon, we don't have it though.
Yeah,
because we're cleaning up.
That's the fun day, the show day and everything, and then camp ramps up a little early that day. The camp, again, will be June 5th through June 9th from 9 to 3:30, and it's going to be at, once again, at First United Methodist Church, couple blocks over here.
200
on,
North Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania Avenue. Thank you again to First United Methodist Church. They are such a great giver of their facilities for folks in our community. I know they've been hosting you for a couple years here.
This is our second year there.
Yeah, they of course I know I'm with American Legion. They've been hosting us for years now. They every night there's something going on that's not technically officially with the church there, because they just let people, it could be jazzercise one night in there.
Right.
They're a very good partner of the community. So thank you to First United for once again opening their doors and letting this camp happen. By the way, they do school and everything else there, so it's a really good facility for something like this, because they got a lot of space and
they do have
a lot of classrooms, a lot of
nice
resources to do that kind of stuff. So it's a good thing. Now, if you want to do some of your own research, I invite you to go to the website.
Invent.org.
That is it.
/camp, or just Google and Camp Invention.
Yeah, you can Google Camp Invention, but invent.org will take you there. And then the first thing you'll see is find a camp near you. It's like a little tab. Click on that, type in Roswell, New Mexico, just in case there is a camp in Georgia, but in the NM.
Yeah.
And then you'll see all the information for this camp, and then you can sign up directly through there. Now, back to this money thing here.
Yes.
If you do this before the end of day here on the 30th, and you enter in offer code WONDER25, like there'll be a little box there, you see, enter offer code WONDER, WONDER, the number 25, all one word, and in that thing, they will discount $25 off your camp fee.
Correct.
But you got to do it before the close of day on
March
the 30th here. If you have multiple siblings that you would like to sign up for camp, save you more money, don't use the WONDER25 code. If you have 2 kids that you would like to put through camp, use SIBLOVE30, SIBLOVE, love 30, all one word, and use that anytime you register for camp. You don't have to wait. It can be even after the 30th here. And you're going to save $30 per child.
Right.
If you got a third child you'd like to sign up for camp,
Or 4 or 5.
SIB Love 40, and then you will save an additional $40 per child 3 and up. So if you got 3 kids, 40 off, 4 kids, 40 off, 30 kids, 40 off.
Right,
100 kids, you get your own camp invention.
Thank God, love you.
and then of course after the 30th, there's going to be a Save 15 camp, but we'll worry about that next time. Let's just worry about this. Now, if you were listening earlier and need a partial scholarship, if you're thinking, I would love to do this, 25 is not going to be enough for me, or 30 or 40 is not going to be enough.
Because it's $275.
Yeah, for the entire camp here. Call Peggy Boland directly. And I'll give you the number here in a second. Do not register through the website. Let Peggy register you, because she's going to talk to you, and she's going to, because of the money thing, if you do it through there, then you've got to pony up the money. But if you do it through her, she can pay through there. They've got an account that sets up through actually Camp Invention. Thanks to many fine donors here. They've got a bank account that's earmarked specifically for Roswell campers that you can donate through the website directly or give to Peggy, and Peggy puts it in there. But either way, so we have a pool of money that's available there right now, thanks to people over the years donating.
Yeah. The Roswell people are wonderful.
And so we can help. Now, that being said, because Peggy's wants the family invested in this, she's only offering partial scholarships. Now, we can help out immensely depending on need and everything else, but she wants you to have skin in the game. She wants you to make sure that your kid comes, because when people are handed things, this is just a life lesson. It's just not judging or anything. It's just the way life is. When someone's just handed everything and not having to commit to it, they don't always put their heart and passion in it, because I didn't put any sweat equity into this a little bit.
Exactly.
And so even if it's just a couple bucks you got to put in, we want to know that, hey, you're committed too. And that's Peggy's proof that you're just not trying to take advantage of a situation here. You're trying to get you're investing in your kids, and you want to make sure they're going to be there and active participants. And that's kind of the best way we know to help to ensure that's what's going to be happening here. Because we'd hate to give this money and then these kids don't come. Some other kids that really wanted to come now lose that opportunity because someone took advantage of something they truly didn't want in the first place. So that's why you're a little stringent with it here. But call Peggy direct. you can reach out. Write this number down, 575-420-9955. Again, 575-420-9955. Call her here. And by the way, if you're listening and you're like, and I don't have any kids to send to camp, but I sure would like to help some kids and like to make donations,
call me too.
Call any little bit, whether you got $20, $50,
$10,
$1 million,
anything,
whatever you got. It'd be great. We'll add it to the pot here, and it keeps going over the year. So don't worry, even if we're still talking a couple days out and you just hear it, it's like, no, don't worry. If we don't use it for this camp this year,
we'll use it next year.
Kids next year will get to use it for camp here.
Yeah, we had a little bit, not much.
Get a little
we
reserve.
actually had a silent auction.
Oh, good. So that kind of.
And that was during camp.
Okay, so that kind of padded the coffers a little bit.
It did, because that money went for this year's camp.
Good deal.
I actually had some money to start with because of last year's silent auction during camp.
Okay.
So
very good.
Yeah, so we're kind of I try to give money as
know. And let's face it, because we know it's $265. That's a lot of money for a camp. But if you look at what the kids get,
yes,
and because all these projects we're talking about, these are all take home. These are things they come home with.
Mm-hmm.
They're theirs to keep, and as long as they, don't destroy them, they can use them, as long as they want to. And so they get these things. So it's not like. They're coming away. So that $275 that cost for camp really covers the material, covers the camp itself. We're not even talking the hundreds of hours of volunteer time that Peggy and the volunteers that are counselors and staff on this thing. So really, $275 to pull this off is kind of cheap per person. Once you see all that's going on that week, it's really a lot. These kits, and they're not cheap. These are expensive things, and so if you can afford, if you can help, please make a donation. Help these kids have fun at camp. Who knows? You might be funding for the kid that creates the next miracle drug that saves your kid's life one day.
Yeah, you might need that.
You know what I mean? That's what you're doing. Is you're ensuring the next generation of kids. When we move forward and have better and more greater experiences than we got to do. That's what we all want. We all want better for our kids than we got for ourselves. I think that's pretty safe to say. Every parent, I think, feels that way.
I would hope.
Yeah. So this is one of those opportunities. Come out, come be, and if I'm curious. I know we're a couple months out, but is there room for more volunteers and things too? If there's someone listening that wants to,
there's still room for leaders in training. And
we haven't even talked
school.
about that. We need to talk about that.
Yeah, the middle school kids entering 7th through 9th grade.
Okay,
there's a leader in training, and that's where it's $100 cheaper. Mm-hmm. There's no additional scholarships available for them, but they learn leadership skills, and they're mentored by the leadership interns, which are the high school and college kids. And I do need a couple more of those.
Yeah,
who would be willing to come and volunteer for the week?
You kind of have
which
a foot
is great.
In both areas. You do the projects as a camper. You get to have the fun part.
Yep.
But you also help the counselors. Navigate, help the kids with the projects, if moving them from one activity to the next, all the minutia of running the camp, you're helping as a staff member, helping to do all that. But then you also get to do the cool projects and have the cool, so you get a discounted price to pay, but at the same time you get some leadership and you get to, so if you're a little bit too old for the elementary, but not quite high school ready for, then come be an LIT here and get that experience that way. Or maybe you were a camper and now you kind of graduated age-wise. Come back as an LIT and go from showing, learning how to do this stuff to showing people how to do this.
Or the LIT becomes my leadership interns.
Exactly.
What's cool about this camp is basically, except for anybody younger than going into kindergarten, because I don't take 2-year-olds, it's basically a family thing, because the elementary school kids can go, the middle school kids can go, the high school kids can go, the college kids can go, and the parents can volunteer.
That's true. And they all go to their little corners or their little parts, and then they meet for dinner and to go home at the end of the day.
Right. And so that's what I like about camp, because the whole family can be involved if they want to be.
Absolutely.
Make it
a whole week fun outing and do their thing. And of course, here's the other thing too. Friends and stuff, your kids are going to make friends with all week. So,
yes.
Like all you homeschoolers out there, This would be
huge,
great for the social interaction. You know, one of the drawbacks of homeschooling is that social side of things kind of lacks. You can make up for that here at this camp. Oh, and by the way, get a bunch of educational stuff on top of that too.
Right, because this isn't just daycare during the day.
Absolutely.
For a whole week.
This is enrichment for kids for a whole week, and it's disguised in fun toys and projects.
Right, they're problem solving, they're creating, they're inventing, they're... I mean, name it.
When
hands-on project.
When you and your buddies and friends are out standing out on your property trying to navigate fixing something that broke or something, in essence, that's what these kids are doing all week. They're navigating and figuring out, except for instead of a windmill or a well or something, they're working on these robots and things like that are more toys their level. But this is going to translate to that, you know, when they're older. And they're out there. We got something broke down or something needs fixing. Now they're working on that and doing basically what they're learning, playing with these robots, and they're applying that, you know, later on. And that's what it's all about. Is you're preparing your children to be good adults and have options and choices and the ability to go in the path that they want to. That's the thing. You could have a kid that's not even into science and math, and come to this camp and have an amazing week and then realize they're into science and math and didn't realize they're not into science and math. This is that, you know, if you've got the child that is a little bit resistant to some of this stuff, I think this is the pill in the cheese or in the candy here to, you know, it gives them what they need, but it disguised in a way that they think it's fun and entertaining, and which it is. But, you know, oh, by the way, we learned you something here. And that's what the great thing about it. So please sign up your kids. Call Peggy if you need help here with scholarship or anything like that.
They can also email me.
Yes. pbolin 2016 at gmail.com. That's the letter P, BOHLIN, all one word there. 2016 2016 at gmail.com and shoot an email to that. She'll reply back as soon as possible.
Right, and 575-420-9955 for anyone who needs partial scholarships or would like to donate.
Yep.
I can tell you, you know,
exactly
where to send the money and I don't take any cash. There's no cash.
You don't want. Exactly.
It's going to be check, money order.
Something that's trackable, something that keeps everything transparent.
Exactly.
That's why.
Exactly.
But don't forget, 575-420-9955, pbolin2016 at gmail.com. Invent.org is the website. Go learn. If you want to read more about what we're talking about, read more about the Inventors Hall of Fame, all of that is at invent.org. You can learn more about the camp, the history, how it got started. If you're wanting some kind of background details, you'll find it all at event.org. Spend you a little time doing some reading. And then when you do all that, sign on up. But don't forget, Wonder25. If you want to save $25 off the code or off the total fee, use that code here before the end of day, March 30th.
Right. And on the website, they can also see little YouTube videos of each of those modules.
Okay, so you can kind of see what it looks like. Instead of us trying to explain it to you, you can actually...
Right. They have little YouTube videos, which is really handy. I'm like, that's cool, because I watched them.
Pictures and video work better than words sometimes. In this case, it's...
Right. And the kids are always like, oh, that's so cool.
Exactly, yeah. It's the wonder moment. It's like, I want one of those. Well, come on to camp.
So this camp, remember, is for children entering kindergarten to entering 6th grade if they're going to be campers at Camp Invention.
Yep. So pretty much if you're in elementary school, that you're qualified there. All ages through there. Well, thank you, ma'am, as always.
Thank you.
We'll see you here next time, and as the next window here to remind folks to get signed up for camp.
Signed up, yep.
And take care. Don't work too hard.
I don't know what that means.
I know. It's easier said than done.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. It's closing on 8:58. Quick break before...
Need new windows for your home? Beware of the sales gangster. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing and Windows here. A sales gangster is a window salesperson with the mobster mentality. They intimidate, bully, and fast talk you into buying their less than quality windows during a 3-hour pitch. Think I'm kidding? Call a few window companies and see for yourself. Or you can skip the sales gangsters and call Trustmark. We have fair, no-nonsense pricing on our premium windows, and our appointments take only about 60 to 75 minutes. Just long enough to listen to what you need, show you your options, answer your questions, and give you a straightforward quote. Then it's up to you. We can take a no just as easy as a yes, but I'll guarantee you this: no sales gangsters. Sound fair? Call Trustmark Roofing and Windows for your no-obligation spring window assessment. 575-755-7663 or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Your destination for health is closer than you think. You don't have to drive hours for personalized care. You can get high-quality health care right here, close to home, at Artesia General Hospital. From hip, knee, and shoulder replacements to sports injuries, general surgery, pain management, and wound care, our providers will help you get back to doing the things you love right here in Southeast New Mexico. Artesia General Hospital is here for you when you need us. To learn more about some of our key service lines, visit artesiageneral.com/closer.
Roswell's home for talk radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.